we traded like
Hey.
battle?
Oh,
Hello.
hello. We are live. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I am the Trisky, and I run the Unlucky Rolls channel. Welcome to the Unlucky Rolls channel. I am here with other people, and I was totally not caught off guard by it swapping so suddenly because I don't have an actual timer to watch it. Shut up.
Insane.
Oh
Very
boy.
professional production here by everyone.
Oh yeah, only the most professional production. I'm totally not currently just putting the Unlucky Rolls logo on the screen and accidentally blowing it all up. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am, as I said, Trisky. I run the Unlucky Rolls channel, and today we are back with Season 2 of our Warhammer 40k Blackstone Tales campaign on this channel, but this time we are in a different system. Instead of the Rogue Trader system from Fantasy Flight Games, I believe it's Fantasy Flight Games if I'm correct, we are now in Wrath and Glory, which is the currently updated and supported system. So, with that in mind, we also have a new GM. Before we go any further, I would like to very much thank Zach, the GM who ran the entirety of Season 1 in Rogue Trader. Rogue Trader is a bitch to run because it's really complicated, so we really appreciate all of his efforts. It was really nice of him to run everything. He got us to establish these dumbass characters, and I love it, and I really appreciate it. But now we have our new GM for the Wrath and Glory system, as Zach has kindly retired from GMing for us. This is 6.5.
Hey everyone, this is Six. You can also call me Camden. Yeah, I'll be running Wrath and Glory. I've run this system a couple of times before, and I really enjoy it. I'm a big fan of like dice pool systems, and this is basically like a dice pool system on steroids, so it's great.
Oh yeah. But with that little intro and thanks aside, I would like to turn to introducing our characters. We have two of my fellow players from the Rogue Trader campaign rejoining. We have a canonical reason as to why the other two are not in universe as of right now, because they decided politely to abstain from rejoining the campaign due to their own life schedules. But for now, first off, I am playing as Gizmek Scrapmangled Guillotana, or Gizmek Scrapmangled Guillotana, as the voice I do, who is the orc mech boy who has become the lead engineer of a sort of the Blackstone, at least while he was on the Blackstone, until he got his own ship, which won't last very long, probably, I'm assuming, considering the beginning of this campaign, but no more spoilers on that. Alongside me would be Marius over here, playing as
The basically lead navigator of this entire shenanigans.
You're missing like a name and shit. I feel like come on.
Sator, the fucking biggest navigator in this whole dynasty in this whole Rogue Trader dynasty.
What's
Most
his last name
remarkable-
again?
I can't say I can see.
Yes, that's what I needed to establish again. Sator,
Yes.
I can see. Big guy with big third eye. Last name is literally I can see.
Or how Gizmek prefers to call him, Soot.
Yeah, I just call him Soot. Gizmek gives everyone like a dumb nickname. And speaking of dumb nicknames, Hoots.
Hi, I'm Reaper Joe. If you remember, I play Holtz, the titular Rogue Trader of the Rogue Trader campaign. I won't be saying that anymore because that's not the name of the system anymore. But I'm still the Rogue Trader. I'm still Holtz, and I'll still be pretending that I'm better than everyone. So the only thing that changed is the title.
The Holtz wouldn't say pretending. Jeez.
Yeah, but I'm not in character.
You gotta recommit already. Come on, man. I'm just fucking with you.
Don't worry,
we were actually joking before the session that I was just like, I really appreciate how Holtz has never had to get new art made for him because he hasn't changed physically that much. How can you improve on perfection? Oh boy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I want to talk about Wrath and Glory for a second.
Yeah, go on ahead and let the folks know a little bit about this system since we are new to it.
Yeah, so the system sort of covers all facets of Warhammer. So one of the most important parts of the system is at the very beginning, you develop a framework, which is what the players are sort of going to build their characters on, and then you sort of decide what tier of play you want to play at. So we're playing at tier 2, which is sort of like superhuman level, but not quite like Space Marine level threats. Um, so technically, like we setting up the framework as you guys are a rogue trader, unit, and you're going to be exploring around the dark side of the galaxy. So this is technically a rogue trader campaign because that's the framework.
Yep. Rogue Trader and Practicality, Wrath and Glory and system.
Also, we might be using profit factor instead of wealth because at least there was also a thing in one of the PDFs that I saw, but we'll deal with that later.
Yeah, we can deal with that later.
Yeah, behind the scenes stuff we can do.
I'll heavily doubt that we'll be shopping in the first session.
Oh yeah.
I doubt it'll be easy to shop for a while actually after the first section. So we'll see.
Yeah, let's get it on. All right. I would like to invite our GM to take it away.
All right, so I'm going to start with a set piece. So we're going to begin with like a black screen, and then like there's a very bright spotlight that pops up right in the center of the screen, and in the spotlight we see a Imperial Guardsman from Cadia in the full like Cadia gear, and he's like obviously afraid. He's obviously like terrified of something that we can't see off screen. He's like bubbling to himself. Maybe the camera like pans around him, and we see that his like legs are shaking. He doesn't have any weapons. On the ground next to him is like a small dagger, and you just hear like this deep booming voice from outside the screen say, "Pick it up." And the guardsman just like looks down at it, and like you can see like his eyes are tearing up. He's his mouth is like in a state of frenzied fear, and he like slowly reaches down and picks up the dagger, like holds it in front of him with like a straight arm. His arm's like shaking, and then we hear in the background like, "Yes, begin." And like you hear in the background like these drums start to beat, like boom 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 boom, and then the spotlight like starts to grow wider, and you can see like the legs of a bunch of very large men. um that's all that the light will show is like the bottom of their legs. They're wearing like small like ritual garb, like sort of a loincloth and like sandals, but their legs are like massively muscular. And one of them steps forward into the light, and all he's wearing is a loincloth, but he's like 9 feet tall. He's the most muscular man you've ever seen. And he's his skin is extremely pale, with scars all over them, and he is wielding a the same dagger that the guardsman is wielding. It looks hilariously tiny in his hand, and he walks forward towards the guardsman, and the guardsman like screams out in terror and then like strikes out with his weapon. And then we have like a anime flash or whatever, and next thing you know the big man is standing behind the guardsman, and the guardsman just like splits open in two, right, and falls onto the ground, and like blood leaking everywhere, and like organs like falling out of it. And the big man like licks his dagger covered in blood, and like the drums just like hit like a crescendo, like bum 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 bum, and we hear the same dark voice from the outside go, "Yes, Carnage, you will be a lord soon enough." and like the camera pans up to this huge throne made out of bones and skulls, and uh, you can see like blood like leaking out of like severed heads on this throne, and on it sits this massive creature that's not really a man anymore. He's got the same like garb with the loincloth, but he's got a world eater's helmet on his head. Um, and the 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 Carnage, the man in the center of the ring, like turns around and drops to one knee. Um, and says, "Lord Slaughter, like your favor is wasted upon someone like me, but I will follow your footsteps, brother." And then like the whole ritual sort of ends, and then we have another small vignette of um, this Chaos Lord and his brother up at the view screen for this ship that they're on, and we see like maybe 10 or 11 capital ships in view of the viewport, and we have these two sort of framing the viewport, and one of them says, um, "Why are we here? Why are we not down Acadia?" And the Lord says, "Patience. Lord Abaddon himself has said that he has a surprise for us if we wait right here." And then the screen's going to fade to black. And the next scene is going to be a scene of a very fancy dinner party aboard the flagship of Captain Holtz. Um, would you like to describe your like your dining hall like in detail?
Yeah, sure. So the crew probably recognizes this little area, but it's actually in the trophy room of the Blackstone. Um, it's a little bit tacky. It's got like this green carpet, but like and like it's got all sorts of war trophies throughout the various dynasties, like on the shelves and on the wall. And there's like a long dining table, with amasec glasses, at every seat, and Holtz is sitting at the head, and behind him there's a strung up like Necron corpse that for some reason hasn't been teleported away, and it's a souvenir from one of his early escapades with this crew. And
You want to describe Holtz for the new
yeah.
viewers?
Oh yeah, of course. So Holtz is wearing it. Well, first of all, he's a black man with like very long dreadlocks. And at the tips of the dreadlocks, he's got like these gold bands, like adorning like each of the individual strands. He's got this, white, officer's coat that's been decked out with all sorts of like accoutrements and like gold threads and things like that. On his fingers, he's got like a bunch of rings. And currently on two of them, though this might not be the case for very long, he's got like two like much more massive rings, whose purpose is currently unknown, unless you've followed the original Rogue Trader campaign. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. And then like underneath the officer's coat, you can see like this very heavy armor that is actually light power armor. And on his waist, he's like heavily armed. He's got a power sword and a plasma pistol. That he pretty much always carries with him, no matter what. And he's just sitting at the table, and he looks very relaxed. But like it's hard to tell what Holtz is thinking, just in general. Very good poker face.
Holtz is riding high a little bit right now. They just the crew of the ship and the multiple ships in his fleet came across a number of Imperial transport vessels that had been like attacked or something, but their cargo remained intact, and it was like all of these weapons bound for Cadia. So he's got like a hold full of like every weapon you can possibly imagine. It's got like auto cannons. He's got las cannons. He's got like Space Marine weapons. Like you've got like a hold full of gold right now.
Okay.
So what is Holtz's like attitude in that situation?
I mean, basically just hitting the mother load, like getting to re-equip basically his entire troop count with like high quality weapons, like going beyond like just simple las guns to like bolters. Yeah, I was just like, yeah, I deserve this.
Yeah, so he's on his way to like sell all these weapons to different planets around the galaxy. And at the table also are all of his lieutenants. So we'll like the camera will like pan off of Holtz, who's got a small like slim smile in his he's got the mother load under his feet right now. We'll scan over to Gizmek. What is Gizmek doing at this like dining table right
Gizmek's size is massive compared to the table, as he, even with his hunched shoulders, stands around 8 foot tall. And so the chair that he is sitting in is less a chair and more a massive, like, scrap stool that he brought in himself because he knows none of the Humi chairs will fit him. And at this table, as he's waiting around bored, he is partaking in one of his stranger hobbies for an orc. He has some pieces of tokens of like pawns and bishops and whatnot from a regicide board. And he is assembling them with various forms of sort of adhesive and paint and whatnot into a diorama of what looks to be, in the end, an orcish slaughter that he is working on the table, and that he's obviously been working on for a while. In spite of the size of his hands, he actually seems to have some dexterity for this. Next to him sits his power claw on his hip, and behind him are two mechadendrites that he has acquired through some strained partnership with the local mechanicus of various sectors to assist him yet more with this diorama of his.
So what does Gizmek like look like at his happiest, right? Like he just got a shitload of scrap. There's a whole bunch of those weapons that were, given over to him as scrap to be taken over to his ship. What does Gizmek look like when he's like at his absolute highest?
The absolute biggest shit-eating toothy grin you can possibly imagine is covering his face. He's still engrossed in his little hobby because he loves doing this, but he is inside of his head thinking about the many things that he's going to build with the scrap to arm up his ship and make it have more DACA to deal with his enemies.
Is there like thoughts of like making a stompa out of all this stuff? Is that what's in his mind?
Oh yeah, big things, big things. He's gonna like get a separate Death Dread for like some of his first mate and his companion little Gretchen Grismo, because why not? He has enough to build them. He's going to get more like proper systems added to the ship itself. Maybe make a big old cannon to blast things with in space. He's just mind whirring at the possibilities.
And then the camera then will spin around to Sator. The ship isn't currently in the warp, so Sator is able to leave his isolation chamber.
Yep.
They're just traveling through near space at the moment. They're taking a break from warp travel to have this party.
Yeah.
What does Sator look like?
So at the party, Sator would likely challenge people to drinking competitions.
Yeah. Who at the table would you challenge? That isn't the other two characters. Like, what NPC at the table would you challenge?
Anyone who might actually give him who looks like really buff, so that they might not fall over instantly. because
Yeah.
of Sator's general hedonism, basically.
Yeah,
And
you
you know,
have like some NPCs that was working with you, right? You've
yeah,
got Ira, companion. Maybe Ira is the one that's having this drinking party with you.
yeah, she will be there, and Raskin would also be there because he's basically only a druggie.
Oh
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
So maybe the
Ratskin.
three of you are having like a little drinking competition. So you're just like downing
Yeah, it's like
the like purple colored alcohol in waves, right? Like just like bottles after bottles are being brought out by servants of the dining hall. And then there's all sorts of other lieutenants on this table. It's not just the three of you, right? Like there's a lot of people that run this
Yeah.
ship. We see
Yeah,
like other old PCs from the last campaign, like in the background of this shot, like doing their own party tricks on this table, and it's a loud, raucous time.
yeah. Uh, Malachi would be the only one who would be pleasant to be around, probably.
And I think this is about the time that Holtz would want to like propose like a toast.
Sure. Holtz, after everyone is like sat down, like enjoyed themselves for a little bit, will raise his glass and a spoon and do the ting 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 thing, get everyone's attention. And he standing up, he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to raise a toast to everyone here at this table for their fine, fine work. It's been tough going these past couple of months. I understand that I've ran you rather ragged, but fortune smiles upon us this day. And because I'm such a gracious captain, and because you've all worked so very hard, I want to share these boons with you. So please, enjoy yourselves, drink up, be merry. For tomorrow, business begins again."
So when you say for tomorrow and you start to begin the next part of the sentence, all of the like silverware and glassware and stuff on the table start to like vibrate and shake and make like a ting 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 ting, and like the chandelier on the ceiling is like ting 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 ting, like shaking around. Um, and there's like a big power surge and like sparks fly out of all the lights in the dining hall, and the dining hall is like plunged into darkness. The only light coming from the large like view panel on the side of the dining hall. Everyone screams, and like the ship
I silence the screaming almost immediately.
like rocks, um, and you all have been sort of brimming with dark energy and dark power this whole time, feeling larger than life. You've been, using these chaos gifts to stave off negative emotions, to power yourselves, and you just feel it all drain away in an instant. It's like it just leaves, and you're left with all of those negative emotions that you've been uh, removed from in your psyche. So I want to go around the table. I want to ask everybody, um, what's like the thing that they most fear, and that's sort of like the vision that each of these characters see in their minds. So we'll start with Holtz.
So Holtz actually is clean of chaos gifts.
Right, but like
Yeah.
one of the
Um,
other characters had a chaos gift that made it so
Yeah,
everybody else was
Sator.
okay.
Yeah.
Or
Right.
Yeah.
what chaos gift specifically?
Didn't you say that there was a gift that you were given from chaos that like made everyone near you like immune to fear, right?
No, that was only Sator himself.
Oh, only Sator himself was immune to fear.
Yeah.
I thought everybody was immune to fear.
No.
It was
Everyone.
more of a skill, not a chaos gift, but that's fine.
Sure.
Yeah.
Um,
But as far as like Holtz is weird. But like if I'd say like I've said this in the like the 10 questions, but like Holtz doesn't really have like a fear like physical. If anything, like I can't tell you what Holtz's biggest fear is, other
yeah,
than
so
like
I think I've got an idea in that you look out the view screen and there's a giant hole in the warp, and out comes a ship that you very much well recognize, and it's a ship from your family. and it just immediately starts to open fire on your ship.
What the hell?
And like all of your companions appear to be frozen in fear as the ship tears your ship apart, blasting it to smithereens, and you watch your ship like explode around you. I'm gonna need you to make a fear test.
A fear test. All right.
So I'm gonna look that up real quick.
I'm pretty sure that the fear test is conviction.
Yeah, I'm double
Conviction.
checking that.
Conviction is basically your power, but it's a different thing because traits.
Yeah.
You're all gonna have to make fear tests in a. I'm just going around the table.
Yeah. So just roll
So
conviction.
it's gonna be a resolve test. You're gonna roll a dice pool equal to your resolve trait. And then I'm gonna tell you what the difficulty number is in 1 second. I gotta look it up.
All right.
It's under fear and terror. Yeah, we're gonna make a difficulty number 4.
Okie dokie. I don't think I succeeded.
Yeah, so your legs begin to shake, your teeth begin to chatter, your vision starts to blur, and you're back at the table with all your other companions, and they still have that same look of terror on their face, but your ship is not actually destroyed, but you're still left shaking and like wet with fear. So you're gonna have this condition on you called fear, where you're gonna have +2 difficulty number to all your tests for a little while because you're like shaken.
Beneath, the frontward psyche of Holtz, like in his mind's eye, he's cursing the fact that he's afraid more than anything else. Like his logical side is like, the fuck is going on? Like I don't need. There's nothing to be afraid of. Just command. But
So Gizmek, do you have an idea of what your character would fear, or you want me to come up with something?
For Gizmek, his fear would be, to put it quite blankly, he would fear dying in a puny, hummy sort of way. Going out with like a whimper is like his greatest fear. Being in a situation where he dies out of combat, all boring, nothing interesting going on.
Dying from a shitty Nurgle disease or something like that.
Yeah, just dying like pitifully in a bed somewhere would be his worst
like,
fear.
I think that like Gizmek like looks down at his hands, and his hands start to like cover in boils and pimples, and his skin begins to warp, and all the color starts to drain out of his body, and you can see the green get like replaced by like a gray color as his skin like tightens up and shrivels up. Maybe like sores begin to open in his skin, and you can feel the decay occurring up your arms. I need you to make a similar test for resolve.
All right, resolve. Where is that again? Conviction. It's conviction, right?
Yep, it's equal to your. It's equal to your willpower unless you have a trait specific to conviction.
Is it just not popping up roll dialogues, I wonder?
Maybe. Or it's laggy. Can always be one of the two. Also, you still have Sator's art on stream.
Ah, yes. I do not pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're again. You're also feeling the terror within you, and you're gonna have +2 to your difficulty for a while. And then finally, we go to Sator. Do you have an idea for Sator, or do you want me to come with something?
I want to see you coming up with something if you want to. Even though a Forsaker would be just dying basically. Without any way of coming back, because Holtz does own his soul, but we won't have to deal with that for a while probably.
Like Sator has done some chaosy stuff. He's been dealing with demons and so forth. What was like one of the demons that he's been dealing with?
He hasn't really been.
What does that demon look like?
There was a fucking pink horror that he messed with one time.
Okay, so like Sator's like frozen in place and can't move, and on the table in front of him, pink flame emerges from nothing and forms into this horrifying creature, which is like mostly mouth. It's got like 6 eyes that are the deepest blue color. It's got flame sort of like trickling in and out of its skin. It's got like Egyptian style accoutrement, like rings and jewelry, and a like little thing on its head. And it's got this little crysknife with like a barbed tip, and it just plunges it straight into Sator's chest. And Sator, you can feel like the pain rack through your body as this dagger plunges in. So I need you to make a fear test as well.
Yep. I need to press this, I'm pretty sure. That's only 2. I could re-roll.
If you wanted to spend some glory, you could.
Or
Wrath.
one of my wrath points. Wrath point is a full re-roll, right?
No, you just re-roll the failures, I think. So you just re-roll those 2.
Oh. Alright, so I roll 2 more d6s then?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll
You get to
spend
keep
it.
the 2 successes you have.
I'll spend it then and move my 2 other dice, one of my wrath points to the side then.
So this is one of the mechanics of the game, is like every session, all the players are given 2 of these wrath points that they can use for various things. One of the things they can use them for is to re-roll all the failures of a roll.
Yeah, re-roll failures. Once on a check, it's failures.
Yep.
5 and a 2, close.
So close. So I'm gonna say you're pretty close to staving off the fear. Like, you know that something weird is going on, because like you shouldn't be like frozen in place, and everyone shouldn't be frozen in place. But you still have that, like, you still feel that dagger plunge into your heart, you know? So I'm gonna say you have a +1 damage difficulty number. You're not like totally shaken, but you're like partially shell shocked from the experience.
Yeah.
As we all come back,
I got a little bit of a set piece on that as well. So you guys are still like frozen in fear and trembling, and the lights are all out, and all you can see is like the stars out this view panel. All of your illusions end, but at the end of those illusions, outside of the window is no longer stars, but like a deep, angry red nebula has appeared off of like the port bow of the ship. And it stretches as far as you can see in either direction. It's quite terrifying, to be honest. Looking at it hurts your eyes. You see visions of your fear made manifest if you stare at the nebula for too long. And everyone at the table is like screaming, as after the nebula appears, like 11 holes in the warp appear next to you, off the bow, and you can see all sorts of capital ships like appearing out of nowhere, and like warning klaxons start going off, and these ships begin to fire upon your fleet. So what do you do?
Well, I would like to use my talent gallows humor if that's applicable right now. I don't know if it is. I'm not familiar with the. I posted it in the chat.
Let me see here.
When I specifically, I'm suffering from a condition right now, I believe.
It would be applicable, but none of you have taken any shock damage.
Okay, I didn't know. I just wanted to be like clarify what shock was. Okay.
Yeah,
Shock is based.
like mental damage. I didn't give you guys any mental damage. I just gave you guys a condition instead.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll still, crack a ride joke to like my close lieutenants who are the captains of ships, and I'll just be like, "How many visions of death have we had now? I guess things were going too well."
Yeah. Sator is going to call into the intercom so that everyone on his ship can hear him, and he'll basically start a speech along the lines of, "Man, whatever forces attack us, we will not allow them to take us down."
So all
Even
you hear on your Vox going to the other ship is static.
what?
And the
So,
sweet whisperings of the voice.
all right.
I
Communications are being
I try and get my first mate Wanderer to like give me a status report, and my voice is cracking from like I have to like constantly like clear my throat to like not get it to get the voice crack going.
Yeah, your assistant is like also like, he probably is like wet himself, like his knees are shaking. He's covered in sweat. He's like shaking, right? Like you're gonna have to like break him out of it. So I'm gonna make you make a like a leadership check.
Okay.
Difficulty number 1. So it'll go up to 3 because you're also in a terrible state.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I'll spend a wrath point, so that's
Okay.
3d6.
Yeah, 3d6.
4.
You're gonna look for 2 successes.
It's 4 because of the rest
Well,
point.
he succeeded 1, so he's good.
No, but do I get to roll my my 4th die, like the 3?
No. So
yeah.
you roll the failures. You don't re-roll
Okay.
the successes.
Yeah, you only reroll failures. Also, you still need to move one of my wrath dice off my side because I don't have control of them.
Oh, yes.
All right, I got a 6.
Great. So you go ahead and describe what you say.
I mean, I try to get Wanderer's attention, and seeing her, I guess she's like staring like blankly at the void, with like her data slate in hand, but like she's like kind of slack-jawed, looking at everything. And after a little bit of like trying to get her attention, I do like the anime slap to like get her out of it and like shake her. He's like, "Wanderer!"
Oh, yes, sir. And like she like pulls up the data slate and starts like scrolling through it, and she says, massive fleet on our port bow. Damage is scaling. Shields are holding." And like she's like going through like all the different like status effects on the ship. Everyone's running to like emergency, like they're doing like their emergency drill procedure where everyone's like running to the weapons, and your ship is beginning to return fire sort of on its own, right?
Mhm.
And the pilots are swinging the ship into proper coordination, but there's just so much enemy ship, right? Like it feels like it's like fire zones are on all sides. We can't get out of it.
How many ships, Wanderer?
She looks down at her pad again. She goes, what's the number I'm looking for here? Like 8. No, 16. 8, 6. What? And like she keeps like tapping the pad, like the pad keeps like flickering in and out of working. And she says, I think there's 8, but there could be more. So
Too many, regardless. We only have 4 ships. I imagine like we're walking to the bridge like right now. Like I'm not like.
yeah, like everyone's sort of clearing out of the dining room and like running to their to their like emergency stations. I'm sure Sator's like running up to the isolation.
Navigator Spire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gizmek is what's your like post on the main battleship?
Mainly, I'm probably going around to. Well, when I was on this ship, I was primarily running around the main guns, making sure that they operated to full efficiency.
Yeah, guns and engine.
There's like a elevator off the back of the dining hall that goes straight down to the main battery deck, right? And that's the one that Gizmek is sent down on right away.
Oh yeah.
But again, like you guys are like sort of shaking off this like this horrible feeling in the pit of your stomach.
Also, if Ira is also sort of stunned, Sator will try to snap her out of it.
Yeah. So yeah, like if any of you want to make any use of your NPCs, you're gonna have to make a difficulty number 1 leadership check to snap them out of their like fear.
I have really good leadership only because of my insane willpower.
I have really good leadership because I'm an orc, and so my strength counts for it.
Yeah.
So go ahead and make a leadership check, each of you, Gizmek and Shul.
That's 2 successes.
And you only had DN plus 1, so.
And you only needed 2 because you have the fear.
Yeah.
And then Gizmek makes his leadership no problem. Oh,
Two twos,
like,
yeah. Oh
just
yeah.
like, come with me, and they're just like, oh shit, yes, okay, sure.
Get off your butch hammies! We got work to do!
It just breaks them out of whatever fugue state they're in, and they join you in the elevator down to the main batteries, prepared to help you down there.
They instantly became more scared of Gizmek.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in their vision, Gizmek was just like murdering them, right?
I mean, that's a fair thing.
Okay,
I feel like Pippi's greatest fear would probably be Pippi being my first mate. For those of you who don't know, her fear would probably be becoming like unable to walk anymore, so she can't explore the worlds that we encounter anymore. Like becoming wheelchair bound would be her greatest fear.
Yeah, I mean, we probably if this was like a TV show, we would have also seen all of the like minor characters having little episodes and fears, right? But we're just gonna talk about the main characters right now.
Yeah, I feel like as far as what happens, Gizmek just screams at her, and all of a sudden she can stand up from her wheelchair in her vision.
Yeah, she just like shoots up from her wheelchair, like "Yes, sir," you know, and gets going. So we're talking about Holtz in the hallway between the bridge and his dining hall, with his assistant at his side. You make it into the bridge, and it's just like pandemonium, right? Like everyone's like running around, sending off orders, turning the cognitators on, like figuring out firing solutions. All like it's just crazy.
At this point, I don't know if I know about like the other ships, so that would be the next thing I'm worried about.
Yeah, so you have that thought, and you look out like the big view screen on the bridge, right? And let's see, what's one of the other? Let's see, and look at the ships in the fleet on this page. Like, what's the name of like Sator's ship?
The Void Hammer.
The Void Hammer, and then what kind of ship is it?
It was a sword frigate.
Yeah, his was the biggest one in our fleet, actually.
Yeah. It was supposed to be the biggest one, but I'm pretty sure that the Blackstone is somehow still longer or something.
Oh yeah, it was like technically a size class up while still not being bigger than the Blackstone for some reason.
Yeah,
yes,
numbers are weird.
You see like that ship get hammered from multiple different capital ships, and then you see a fleet of bombers like run across the entire bow and unload on it, and the ship just explodes off the starboard bow and like rips through space with a big shockwave. You can see like the bridge of it sort of like falling away and like rotating through space. And maybe we see like little dots of people like falling out of the ship as it like detonates. Yeah, so that's what you see out the window.
and I'm looking at I guess the rest of like the situation from like I don't know if I have like a tactical view screen. I can guess I can see like the other ships basically facing the same fate.
Yeah, so like the other ships are like being able to avoid. It seems that the Void Hammer got like it just got taken completely by surprise, and it was inside the firing solutions of like every single enemy ship. The other ones are dealing with like a smaller section of the fleet, right? So they're managing to maintain their void shields and everything. But you're getting the Vox signals coming from those ships are like very strange and like warped, and they're obviously being jammed. So you don't really know what's going on.
So looking at the situation, the best outcome or the best situation for us right now is three. It's 3 to 8 in terms of just number of ships, and from my view screen, I don't think these are small ass ships either. Like
no, these are like full like capital, like chaos capital ships. So they've got
they're like cruiser size or some shit. Holy fuck!
They look like Imperial Star Destroyers, right? They got that like red shape. And then they've got like they're like covered in like symbols of Khorne. One of them has like a massive void creature skull like tied to the top, right? Like these things are fucking crazy.
Yeah, Holtz immediately gives the order to withdraw and jump to warp space, and that should for the record, Holtz has never run from pretty much anything. So
yeah. So you begin to give that order, and Sator is just reaching like the isolation chamber now.
By the way, a question: would Holtz care enough to say, "Hey, your ship fucking blew up"?
I don't think I have time.
Yeah. Anyway, Sator would. I want to do a small thing. Sator would pull out his data sheet, press a couple of things on there, and then you just see an additional small ass explosion on where the remains of the ship are.
Well, like that's the thing is like there's no signal. There was like no signals coming from it, right? So there's no status reports. It just says like question mark, right? And you're in the isolation chamber, so it's not like you're able to like see out. Maybe there's like cameras on the side of the ship, so like you're like scanning through all the cameras, looking for where your ship is, and then you just see it like detonate. And what's like the look on Sator's face? What does he like curse? Like what's the reaction?
No, my drugs.
Yeah. Basically.
Okay.
I will have to reconstruct that now.
Your companions are looking very nervous.
I will say that Ira would probably be nervous. Ratskin is probably so high that he thinks that the party's still happening and he's just there.
And then the data pad like lights up with like an order to retreat from Holt.
Yeah, Sator will just.
You quickly like set yourself up in the in your isolation room, right, and prepare to activate the warp travel.
Yep.
On the bridge, you see another hole in space appear, and it's gigantic. And out of it comes this massive capital ship. It is probably the largest battle cruiser you've ever seen. It is bristling with guns and warp symbols, and it's got like chains like attached to it, and it's dragging what looks to be like a small moon behind it. And the moon is like it looks to be on fire, right? It's got like a red aura around it, and it's like a sort of a flame when you look at it. It looks like a little flame aura around it. And it looks like a moon that's going through like a lunar eclipse. It's like red and bathed in the crimson.
I feel like this is like the beginning to a really hard metal album.
Yeah, dude.
Sator, the only thing Sator would send is type very quickly on the data pad, probably broken. Why do they have a moon?
Yeah, so let me tell you something about warp travel when you're near an object of that size. Doesn't really work.
Holtz is still, turning the ship around and going full speed, hoping that his Raider class gives him enough speed to get the fuck out of here.
Meanwhile,
so-
Gizmek is probably at this point sprinting to the rear parts of the ship and comes into one of the rooms that he's commandeered from another crew member to hit a giant red button to boost the thrusters even more.
So I'm going to need Holtz to make a difficulty 1 leadership check to get the pilots to be able to get the because right now you guys are sort of boxed in. You've got this nebula that's just appeared, and then there's you guys, and then there's this fleet behind you with this giant moon blocking that direction, right?
Yeah.
So basically the only way to go is through the nebula. So you kick on the engines, right? And then we're gonna make a leadership check to see if you're able to get the pilots to get the ship out of firing range of these ships.
All right. Let's see if I can roll decent. I guess I'm gonna spend my other wrath die to roll 4d6.
Okay.
You need to get 3 successes because of the fear.
Yeah, I know. But I have 1, so from the 4, yeah.
Oh, from the wrath die.
Yeah, there we go.
Killer. Okay. So you bark an order to go in that direction. The ship sweeps back away from it. Shows its tail end to the incoming fleet and fires at the engines at max velocity. The opposing capital ships are just as fast as your ship. They seem to be possessed by chaos energies. Their ship should not be able to move that fast. But the moon is moving slower, so over time you're eventually gonna make it out of the anti-warp bubble that this moon is putting in.
Nice. By the way, double checking. The target for this roll for Holtz was 3, right?
Yes.
So then we have a glory point because he also got a 6, or he can use it to give us a bonus.
You can shift the 6, so you guys can get a glory.
Yeah.
Yep.
For right now, I'll move it to the glory point.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have the glory pool at the bottom right.
We should probably add some text like glory and then.
I
Wrath.
mean, we have the logo, Wrath
Yeah.
and Glory.
True.
That's what I'm using it for. Yeah.
That's amazing. Anyway.
I mean, it should be my pool on the other side is not wrath; it's ruin. But I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is fun.
Yeah, it's
Okay. So your ship goes into high gear. You can see you can use your sensors to see you're moving. You're getting away from the void zone. When you hear a shout from the side of the command pit, and one of the cognitators explodes, and you know that cogitator like the back of your hand because it explodes in every battle. It's your void shield cognitor. So you could see the void shields begin to ripple and have it start to become phase through, and you start to receive damage reports of actual damage on the decks are being ripped apart. We'll go down to Gizmek, who's down in the main batteries. That's where the ship is starting to get ripped apart. So you see you get a report on whatever. Do you have a command station down there that you?
I have a data slate on my wrist that I can use, so I'd probably get it on that.
Yeah, so you see damage on 2 decks down, and then you basically look out the viewport for your command station, and you see a whole bunch of your crew flying out into space as they get ripped out of the ship. What do you do?
Bloody Yumi's getting ripped apart! There, come here! he's gonna like run up and grab Grismo, his little Gretchen friend, and Pippi in the other hand. Pippi dragging this giant axe of hers behind her as he just like takes them both and starts running towards the rear of the ship. We got a button to push.
Yeah, she's doing like the anime like, you know, crying thing as you're dragging her. Like, you're so mean, Giz.
We gotta get out of here. Oh, I'd rather not get out in this space there.
Okay, so you know that you need to like close some some doors in order to stop the vacuum from from everything getting sucked out of the
Oh
ship,
yeah,
basically.
as he's running along, he's like stopping every now and then and kicking the switch, probably leaving a dent in the wall, but closing the door as a consequence.
Yeah, so make me a tech test, difficulty number 1, modified by your fear.
So would that be a +1 or a -1 on the modifier?
You're 2 more on the damage number, because difficulty number, because
Just click tech and then click the 4 dice, and yeah, and you got a 6, so that's 4 successes.
yeah, so that's good. So it's not enough to shift the 6 for an extra glory, but it's a good success. So
Yep.
yeah, so you run around, you close a bunch of valves, you kick a bunch of switches, and we see like, you know, doors slamming all over the deck, and everything stops getting sucked into that room, and you stop seeing like stuff spilling out into space, basically. We're gonna pop back up to Sator. What does it look like as you're like prepping to go into the war?
Probably just readying up himself mentally, smoking a glow stick or whatever smokes are called in 40k again.
Like, it's like
Glow
such a
stick.
weird like dichotomy, right? Like every other part of the ship, the other two characters are dealing with like utter pandemonium, people screaming and like people running around and damage occurring, and Sator's just like up there like smoking a cigarette, you know.
Yeah, Sator is
No,
literally
no
in an
screaming.
isolation chamber.
All there is like the people on the other side of the door of the isolation chamber just sort of like looking at him nervously, right? And that's about
Yeah.
um the panels begin to like lower on the isolation chamber, like windows, right? So like nobody can see in, and then you start to like hook yourself up into the machine.
Yep.
And then we're gonna pop back down to Holtz. There's like multiple uh there's like reports of like multiple like boarding torpedoes being fired on.
I mean, Holtz would order evasive actions.
So give me another leadership check, difficulty number 2. So 4.
All right. Hopefully I can roll not shit, but the way I've been rolling so far. So close.
So close. You're out of wrath.
Yep.
So
You could use a glory to add a 1d6, I think.
no, you have to do that before the roll.
Yeah, I didn't.
That's how that works. Yep.
Okay. So so you hear the like reports of boarding torpedoes, and like the screaming is so loud that like you can't get your voice heard to take like evasive maneuvers or whatever, and you hear like bam 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 bam, bam as the ship begins to like rock, as like things are like smashing into it, right? And like it's vibrating throughout the entire ship. Gizmek, like on your deck, like a number of black like tubes have like slammed into the hole, into the side of the ship, and they open up to murderous rampage where like men in loincloths and no other clothes, but with like all sorts of rusty weapons and claws, and their bodies are covered in like chaos symbols come pouring out of these torpedo tubes. It's just start massacring people in the on the engineering.
Gizmac's immediate response is just like drop Grismo and just scream, "Go hit the button, you git!" As he also drops Pippi and pulls out his power claw to turn and face them.
Do you like call for like reinforcements?
No, I'm Gizmek. I don't care.
Okay.
It's a good scrap. I'm getting in there.
Okay, so we're gonna have like a couple of like a little battle round inside of this, right? So why don't we have the two other players take control of your companions for this little battle? Does that
All
make
right.
sense?
All right.
So
Yeah. So
Gizmek has Pippi and his Gretchen as well, right?
yep, Pippi and Grismo. Pippi is like big ass axe, and Grismo has been told to run off and go hit a button.
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
I'll take Pippi, I guess.
I'm going to hit that button really hard.
Okay, cool. So, so we're gonna have like a little battle here. There's a horde of chaos cultists. So Wrath and Glory lets me sort of turn them all into one entity called a mob, and they get like increased damage and like attack power based upon how many of them are in the mob. So we're gonna say there's like a mob of like size 10. So like maybe 10 of them are like rushing down the engineering deck towards Gizmek and his two companions. And so we've got the players get to choose who goes first, and then they they do their thing, and then we switch back and forth.
I would say Grismo goes first, since he's the one that's just straight up running away to press a button.
Right. Okay. So Grismo, you turn your back to these like screaming, charging cultists, and you run towards the big red button. I need you to make me. Let's do like an athletics check. So I assume that Gizmek is pretty. Not
Grismo.
Grismo is pretty athletic. So why
He's
don't you roll...
he's more acrobatic with agility than strength, because I think athletics runs off strength for some reason.
Oh, sure. Oh, okay. So let's do acrobatic instead for speed. Yep. That makes more sense than athletic.
How many dice should I roll?
Yeah, so let's say you're rolling 6 dice, because say he's got like 3 in each, right? 3 in the attribute and 3 in the skill, maybe.
Sounds about right.
That sounds about accurate, yeah.
And then we'll make it difficulty number 2, but he's also still afraid, so make it 4.
Up.
So 66, and you need 4 4-ups.
I need to do it like this. Fuck. Let me just do it through.
We'll have the last die, the wrath die.
5 and another one.
Okay, so that's you got a 6 on the wrath dice. You get a glory for that. Straight.
No, he rolled 5d6 and then 1d6 for that.
Okay. So it was a 4 on the glory dice. But yeah, total success. Holy crap! So you can shift one of
I can shift one.
Glory.
Yeah.
So you guys
should I shift it to a glory or to make it so that Grismo presses that button really good?
Yeah, we can increase it to we can increase the effect of the action, so we can have like the button have like an actual like crazy effect. If you want as well, we can call this a critical.
Oh yeah.
Grismo was doing stuff without Gizmek knowing that button also activates something that will fuck up the Chaos Space Marines a bit.
Yeah, so we'll have the button like activate like a bunch of like bolter turrets or something in the bed.
Yeah, a bunch of now unmanned bolter turrets due to the depressurization.
I was thinking more of flamethrowers, but yeah.
Flamethrowers. Okay, we'll do
flamethrowers in space.
That's fucking cool. Let's do it. That's more 40k. It's flamethrower turrets in space.
Exactly.
Okay, so like he hits the button and like 2 flame turrets just like ignite. Let me look up the flame special rule against mobs real quick to make sure I'm doing that properly.
As far as I recall, I think it was pretty effective from what I've seen.
It sounds like that'd be pretty effective, so let's take a
I mean, flame is pretty effective in 40k in general, let's be honest. I think the only thing in that universe that gives almost 0 shits about flame are probably the Necrons.
And some evolution of the Tyrannid.
Well, yeah, but that's biofuckery.
Yeah.
Tyranids are a different kind of scary.
Flamer special rule. Attacks made with a flamer ignore cover. If you hit a target with a flamer, blazing liquid fills the space between you and the target in a straight line. You can shift when you make a ranged attack to arc the stream, blah, blah, blah. When you hit multiple targets, roll damage once and apply the damage to all targets. Da, 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 da. Okay, great. So roll me a d6.
Yep. He...
Well, that's pretty
5.
good.
So 5 of the cultists just like go up in flames. Like they're on fire. Their flesh is melting off their body. They're screaming in horror. They're saying, they're screaming out curses to Korn for not allowing them to give greater glory in battle as they like melt in promethium covered flame to the.
They don't even bleed, they just melt.
Yeah, dude. Like it's promethium. So fucking-
You don't get any blood, you bloody blood god, you bloody gits!
Exactly.
So, so we're gonna have half of the mob go now because usually you're supposed to split the mob up amongst all the party members, basically, and then that acts like an entity.
Yep.
So we're gonna have so there's like 5 left. So we'll have 3 of the cultists run up on Gizmek and start to pound him with like shitty pipes and chain balls and things like. Let's see. So I get +1 dice for every troop in the mob, so that'd be 3. So they get +3 dice on their attack. The maximum number is half the number of the troops in the mob. So actually, I can only get +1. Okay, cool. Oh no, it's a total mob. That makes sense. So it is still +3. Heretical.
Come over, you bloody gits!
Okay, so cultist. So what is Gizmek's defense?
I was trying to figure
4.
that out a moment
It is.
ago.
What's your toughness also? Because
Toughness is 3.
And that
And-
it's not the toughness, it's the resilience. It's the toughness plus armor, right?
soak.
Yes, your soak value or whatever. But we definitely need to know your defense to know if they hit you. That's the
Uh,
I was sweeping the fucking PDF to try and find any mention of defense in a tribute kind of way, and it wasn't being nice to me.
oh yeah, defense.
It's under
Defense is your initiative -1.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, so 1.
So your defense is 1? Okay.
Yeah, my initiative is 2, so that makes sense.
So they they're gonna stab at you. So a number of them are like stabbing at you with their like improvised weapons, and a couple of them are like shooting auto pistols at you. So they're like the bullets are like binking off your armor. And their weapon skill is 5. They're gonna roll a shitload of dice. Holy shit. So they get like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes, but no like critical, no glory for extra damage, or no 6s to shift for extra damage.
All right.
And then the first value for resilience is your toughness value.
Isn't it a plus? Either it's a +1 or I have something which gives me a +1 to it because I have
Yeah,
it
I
at
also
6.
apparently have something that gives me a +1 to resilience.
It is toughness +1 because the cult
Okay.
is also for resilience and no armor. So
I'm
So
pretty-
toughness +1.
Your soak is your resilience and armor value then. So yeah, not tough.
Okay, so 8 plus, so it would be a total of 8 then.
okay, 8 soak. Okay, so let me figure out how much damage these things. These mobs get extra damage when there's
3
no
toughness,
weapon.
4 armor, +1 to the.
They
toughness.
probably don't have armor penetration if they're using makeshift weapons.
Yeah, they don't have any AP. I don't think they're using auto pistols and shit.
Yeah.
Do. Okay, so they don't get any extra damage because you get extra like ED by shifting 6s, but I didn't get any 6. That's not a problem. And then so their damage is going to be 7 plus 2 ED. So if I roll 2 successes on their ED, then they'll hurt you by. Okay, so they got a 6 on one of them, so that, and it's a brutal weapon. So you're going to take 2 ED damage, so that'll be 9 total. So subtract by 8, so you'll take 1 damage.
All right, so just 1 wound total.
Yeah, so you take 1 wound. You know, the it's hard for them to get past your armor because they don't have any armor penetration. But you know, some of it is hitting like, you know, chinks in the
Joints.
armor, right? And like you can feel like the armor beginning to weather the storm.
Oh yeah, because you are wounded. I'm pretty sure that now because you are wounded, you get like another +1 to everything. Or is that when you are heavily wounded?
That's when you're heavily wounded, I believe. When you take
All right.
your heavy damage. I think it's when you're below half you're bloodied or whatever.
We'll do it like that anyway, because you are down 1 entire hit point. Now you get a -1 to everything. Is very annoying.
Yeah, that's not good. We're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So then it goes back to the players. So you guys can choose if Pippi goes or Giz.
It's up to you.
I feel like
Yeah.
considering I'm the one getting mobbed, Gizmek would immediately retaliate.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So Gizmek is going to be like, "Get off me, you little gubbins!"
Okay, so you swing your power claw. They have a defense of 2. So you're 3 icons over that number. So that means you hit 3 of them because it's a mob. And you don't have
Nice.
to roll damage because they only have 1 hit point and their resilience is only 4. So I'm sure your damage is much higher than that. Yeah, it's 12. So you just
Yeah.
like squish 3 of them in like sweeping claw motions. They come apart.
Yeah.
Under the
Power Claw is
power
really
beam
nice. It's strength. It's strength +6 for damage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
so
pretty-
like maybe like the last swing of it, you like stab your claw like through one of the cultists and like lift them up into the air, and they're like screaming, and like, you bring the thumb down on their head or something like that, and they fall apart under the claws. Horrible gaze. Okay, so then we got some cultists attacking Pippi. So I'm gonna roll that real.
Yeah, aren't there only like 2 of them left at this point?
Yes, there's 2 left. They're fighting. So they would have. And she sounds like she'd be pretty defensive, so I'll give her like defensive like. Oh, they fucking hurt. Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah, wow.
God damn it! Is this gonna be like the second time Pippi just get rinsed instantly in combat?
The
No.
first time Pippi appeared in Rogue Trader originally, she just got downed after 1 turn.
Yeah, they also got a critical hit. See the 6 at the end.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be extra nasty.
Oh boy, glad this isn't my actual character.
Yeah. So let's say her resilient. I mean, based upon her character picture, she's not really wearing any armor.
She's more of a glass cannon, I'd say,
She
because
had
Let's say
xenomesh
3.
armor actually.
that's 3.
It was like light
Oh,
xenomesh
okay.
armor.
So they'll give her
underneath.
a soak of like 6, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is gonna be +2 ED because I'm gonna be able to shift 2 6s. So that's gonna be 4 ED total. Oh boy. So that's an extra
Ow.
4 damage on top of the 7. So that's gonna be 11 damage. So she's gonna reduce that by 6. So we'll say she took 5 hit points of damage.
Oof.
And a critical effect. So we're gonna look at critical effect real quick. Oh, let me double check
Yeah.
to make sure troops even do critical effects. They might not even do critical.
Yeah.
Cannot inflict critical hits. Okay, so don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Alright, nice.
I think that's standard for mobs.
Yeah, so
She's-
she'll take like a crack in the face by one of these like improvised weapons, right? Um, maybe she was like she was like toying with like one of her opponents, and the other one like comes up behind her, just like cracks her in the head with his pipe, and she's
I'm
got
assuming.
like bleeding wound in her head now, but she's like angry, right? And then we'll switch over to Pippi's turn.
All right. Well, she has a power axe, which has rending 1. I don't know if that does anything.
I mean, these guys only have 1 hit point, so we're not going to worry about.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
About
Yeah.
hitting them, right? So we'll
So-
say that she's got like maybe like she rolls like 6 dice when she attacks,
Okay.
and these guys are defense 2.
1, 2,
5
3,
of
4, 5.
So
Yeah, 5.
So she hits 2 of them, right? And so she sweeps her axe in a wide arc and like severs both of these cultists, and they fall to the ground. So the group of you are sitting there panting after this battle as the cultists are, still murdering other people in the engineering bay. The button that you press like activated turrets like across the entire engineering bay. So like there's like flame turrets like going off everywhere, right? Like the cultists are getting like mobbed by all the defensive guns. When the 2 defensive like flamers near the 2 of you get hit by missiles and they explode. So I'm going to use a wrath point or ruin point to do. And you look up, and out of the largest of the boarding torpedoes, it actually kind of looks like a spiked claw. The door hiss, and on the spiked claw there's like a little missile launcher. If you know anything about chaos technology, that's like a havoc launcher on the side of this claw, right?
Oh, lovely.
And the door like hisses open, and then like the music for the show starts to do like the drums that we heard at the beginning, like bum 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 bum, and the door hisses open, and out walks a enormous Chaos Space Marine, full decked out. He's got his world leader's helmet and the symbol of corn. He's covered in armor from head to toe. He's brandishing the largest chainsword you've ever seen. It looks like it's like a 3-handed weapon. It's got like an extra little like handle inside of the chainsaw section that he uses. And he's like moving like right toward Gizmek's group. And we just like hear the like thumping of the drums. So we're gonna start another battle with him.
You get out of here, little one hoist, got this.
Yeah, so like Gizmek, you like step forth in front of this guy, and the 2 of you like face down each other on this platform. Pippi is like on the side, like nursing like her head wound, but she's still like ready to help. And Gizmo, you can still like there's other things for you to do on the deck that you can like activate on this guy.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start combat. I'm gonna spend another ruin point for him to steal the initiative.
Seize the initiative, but
Yeah, so you guys can spend that glory point you have if you want to seize the initiative back on me.
it would probably be better to
Considering the
use it
size-
after. It's up to you.
Gizmek is currently the leader of this party.
Yes.
I gotta let this kid get first shot. Let's go!
So you're stealing the initiative back.
I'm gonna rend it back and swing at this guy with a power claw.
Okay, sweet. So yeah, so go ahead and come at him. Right? He like takes like a low stance. And he's ready for you to come at him.
I got that
so
roll
his
there.
defense is going to be
I may want to wrath that.
his defense is going to be 5.
Yeah, I don't think I succeed with that, so I would need to wrath it, wouldn't I?
You
Yes,
can wrath it. If
Yes.
So Wrath
You
will
would
just
have to
reroll
reroll.
the failures, right?
You
So
roll the 4 other
4d6.
dice. Yeah.
Yep.
I believe in you.
3
There
more
we go.
hits.
Nice.
Yeah, so you just got enough. So you come forward and you blast him with your power claw. And then you have to roll 7 ED. So roll 7 dice.
That was just clicking the dice symbol next to the damage plus 7d.
all right.
That first one.
And
So that was
your power claw isn't brutal, so it's just normal ED rules. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 extra damage. So it's 16 damage.
Ouch.
it is power field if that affects anything.
And it's AP minus 3, so it's like equivalent of like 19 damage. Okay. So you claw into him and you tear a massive piece out of his torso. The chest armor just like comes off and like slams into the deck and makes like a loud clanging sound, maybe like sticks to the deck. But there's no like scream of pain from the creature before you. He just grabs your wrist on the other side of the power claw and like pulls you further into his chest and like pulls up his great chainsword to bring it down on. So this threat may use ruin actions and has 1 personal ruin. So he's going to do a ruin action. So he's going to get extra damage. So he's gotten mad. You can feel like the chaos power like filling him, right? And oh yeah, thank you.
You should probably just give us like 2 of these, which we have control over too.
The ones
Yeah.
next to your characters for sure. Yeah, it should definitely.
Yeah.
Do that. All right. So your defense was what? 2?
My defense is 1.
Great.
Because my initiative is only 1. I mean, my initiative is 2. So.
Okay, so he's rolling. Now when you're attacking, it's strength plus weapon skill, right?
My
skill. Oh no, I think it adds them together on this sheet. So
when you attack, it's
you'd be rolling 8 dice otherwise. It doesn't make any sense. So.
When you attack, your weapon skill is with the initiative usually.
Right, with initiative. Yes. Thank you. That makes more sense.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So
initiative is kind of weird because it is also for having better defense, and dodging, but strength is for better and stronger hits.
Okay. So he gets 1/6 to shift as well. So he gets an extra ED on top of it. So he brings his gigantic Jane sword down on you. I gotta look up how much damage an eviscerator does.
Ooh, lovely.
Don't you just love that name, Eviscerator?
I love it. I also love the fact that the fucking space guns
it
can
does
wield them.
strength plus 6 damage with
AP
6
minus
ED.
4. Yeah, it's AP minus 4. So he's gonna get an extra 3 ED on top of that. And it's a brutal weapon, so it's gonna get the +2 on a 6 for the ED. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extra damage on top of 14. So that's going to be like 19 damage with 4 AP. So only 4 of your soak will apply.
So I have four soak left, and to my knowledge, that's more than my total wounds.
Yeah, so you're gonna drop to 1 knee as this eviscerator blasts into you. We're gonna have you take a let's see, what kind of test would that be?
Resilience would it be, or
yeah, let's do a resilience test. Just roll resilience, and then we'll see how much of that.
it won't let me just do his resilience.
We'll drop a bunch of it into shock, and then we'll leave you on 1 hit point probably. So go ahead and roll resilience. This is just like a narrative encounter.
Yeah. So we're not doing combat properly, and we need to get used to it anyway.
All right. Resilience can't be selected as the stat, but soak is the same value, so I'm going to just use that instead in his place.
Here it is. Okay. If you suffer more wounds than your maximum wounds, you are dying. You're on the verge of expiration. You immediately suffer a memorable injury, so we'll give you a memorable injury, and you fall prone. Whenever you take any amount of damage that would cause you to suffer a wound while dying, you suffer a traumatic injury. We're not going. You may roll determination. If you use determination to reduce any damage you take to 0, you do not suffer the traumatic injury.
Oh yeah, you can roll determination to reduce damage and take shock instead.
We'll do that. So you get one. I think you get like 1 determination point per like chapter. So we'll have this be like the end of the chapter from the previous season. So you have like a leftover determination point basically. So what do you do to roll determination?
I think that it's willpower, but I don't remember.
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
Or just try to look for it. Actually, I'll
have to look into this in more detail later.
But... Yeah.
Yeah, just to keep things going, I'll roll willpower, which isn't my greatest stat.
I believe in you. You got 1 success.
Yeah, you're fine. So yeah, so so Gizmek like drops to one knee. He's breathing heavily. You know, maybe like a little bit of orcish blood pops out around his mouth. And the Chaos Champion before you stands like triumphant. He doesn't notice like Pippi like sneaking up behind him. So go ahead and give me an attack from Pippi.
All right. Let's see. We're 66.
Yeah, and his defense is 4.
Oh, determination is actually toughness, which would have been 1 extra die, but I don't think it matters.
It's fine. This is gonna be narrow. I'm not gonna kill you on the first session.
Oh yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That succeeds. That's good. That's 4 successes.
All right.
And so so her damage is high enough, and it's a power axe, so it's built for cleaving through armor. She just embeds this giant power axe in the back of this beast, and so like the camera is like showing Gizmek like on his knees, blood coming out of his mouth, and then we just like zoom in on this guy's helmeted face. Maybe we see like spittle or rabies style like blood churned froth coming out of like the mouthpiece of this helmet, and then suddenly he just like he does like the Star Wars Disney like keel over randomly, right? Like he just like halts and keels over, and then we just see like Pippi standing there. He's got like a giant axe like embedded in his back. He's just like dead on the ground. And then she like rushes over to Gizmek and she's like, "Are you okay?"
All that ways.
So she like limps you like out of the scene. So then we'll skip to somebody else real quick. We'll skip
one last. I do want to add one last thing there, which would be that Griezmann would be annoyed that he didn't get to use his extra flamethrowers.
Yeah, he's gonna go press another button. So then we're gonna skip over to back to Hulse. So like the fleet is in disarray. We got 2 other ships in the fleet that are like currently dealing with this like claw of capital ships squeezing in around them. How does Hulse aid his the other fellow ships, or is he just like on the run?
I mean he's on the bridge, and before in Rogue Trader, like his thing was like he had like such high leadership that he could basically do whatever he wanted. So like, but like Wrath and Glory kind of like screw that. Down. But yeah, nurse him down a little bit. But like I still think he'd be like on the bridge, like trying to like redirect things. Like so, one of the things that he's trying to do is basically like so with borders, open up like hatches to the void. And like just like try and like toss them out of the void through just like the bridge.
Vacuum them out.
Yeah, vacuum them out.
So I'm not going to make you roll leadership for that because there's a downside to that as well. So you yell to them to like drop the borders into space, right? And so like they open up a whole bunch of vacuum seals along the ship, and you just like watch all of the weapons that you had gathered like float out into the void.
Yeah, Yeah, I'm okay with that right now. Survival is more important.
So it's like all these bad borders are floating out into the void. You see like, you know, maybe the camera like shows like a bunch of like cultists, maybe like a couple of other like Chaos Space Marines like being sent out into the void of space, surrounded by these like war chests of weapons.
Yeah, well, the alternative was they get the war chests.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
I
that's not a downside to me.
I almost want to make a narrative decision that someone accidentally activates the Tachyon arrow.
Yeah.
Tachyon arrow. Oh shit.
Dude, I actually have an idea for that. So yeah, so like you know, one of the cultists is like clawing at his throat or whatever, and he's like you know, he's spasming, and he like reaches out and he touches like a piece of metal, and then suddenly like there's this like beam of blue light that fires out of it. It's like massive, and it shoots across the battlefield, and it hits the moon, and the moon just like explodes, like in the and like big sections of it are like coming apart, and suddenly your guys are not in this like this mass field anymore, and jump to light speed, but this explosion, like one of the sections of it, like you know, flies through space and like hits Gizmek's capital ship, and it just like explodes immediately.
No, the gate crusher!
Holtz seizing the opportunity, just slams like the intercom button to Sator, and it's like, Sator, now.
Yeah. So Sator, you activate your third eye and you look out into the void, and the direction your ship is facing in, like instead of so like normally you see like the Astronomicon, right? So you can see like everywhere around you. Like in front of you, the ship is just blackness. You cannot see anything past the nebula or into the nebula itself. And
Sator
it
doesn't.
like, terrifies you a little bit. I need you to make a like a willpower test.
Yeah. Willpower or.
Let's say difficulty number 1, but with the extra fear, so 2.
Yeah. Just willpower.
Yeah. No, we'll do willpower.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, willpower's
want to
fine.
go
Just
with-
3 6s. That's fine. Yeah, he's fine.
if you want-
Fine.
Fearless. He's like, I'm gonna fly blind into the void in
Let's fucking go.
go. You just like press
I
the button.
I just imagine this is like him as he's doing it. He opens his third eye just after taking like a really strong hit from one of his blood. So he's just like, let's fucking go.
So I'm gonna need Sator to make me a piloting test at like.
Oh god.
it's
I
gonna
don't
be,
know
like,
if I
difficulty
should.
number, like, 4, so like the difficulty number
Okay.
5.
Once I don't know if I should convert those two into glory or what.
I'm actually gonna drop a ruin point to make it even harder, so I make it difficulty number 6.
All right. Shift those 2 of those successes into glory. By the way.
Oh yeah.
All right. So what's the target number?
6 for piloting.
You may
Alright,
want to
in total.
instantly use one of those glory or 2 of them on this test.
I'm going to use 1. I'm gonna also the rest dice will matter, will be the last one for this. And another one. That's 4 successes.
Oh, you don't have any wrath dice.
Yeah. No, yes, I do have a right dice.
Yeah,
I
he
can
does have a
reroll.
wrath die, so he has 4, and then he can reroll 5.
6 actually.
Yeah, he can reroll 6 dice. He's got 3 successes.
4 because one of them is a 6.
Right, but 6 is only 2. So
Yeah, and
6.
I also used. Oh yeah, that's a 2. Not my bad.
For some reason,
Yeah,
it's just
so-
glowing.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
that I believe that succeeds, and I get another thing to shift.
Yeah, so you can even shift. So you want to shift for like critical effect. You want to like make it so.
Get us out of here faster.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you hit the button at like full maximum warp travel. The ship fades, and like as the ship is like fading into a warp portal, the fleet behind, you can feel their collective rage as the ship actually manages to retreat. The chains like detach from that main capital ship, and the main capital ship like basically like pops up a warp portal right behind you. the rest of the fleet is off doing like its own thing, like cleaning up the final.
From what it sounds like, Sator can likely physically see the fury in the warp from all of the chaos corner space.
Yeah, so remember how I said earlier that like your void shields were like flickering a bit?
Yeah.
So your void shields start to flicker a little bit, and Holtz, you're not out of the woods yet. There's more warning klaxons as creatures from the beyond begin to appear on your deck.
I shout something about the Gellerfield not being up, and
So it's not
I mean,
it's not up. It's just like flickering, like it's damaged, right? So like it's not like you're just immediately dead, which would happen normally, but like a wave of demons appears like all around you. There's maybe like 3 or 4 like bloodletters that appeared on the deck. So bloodletters.
Zombies, horde mode, wave 1, go.
They look like devils, right? And they've got like these long horns, and they've got like the alien type like heads that stretch way back. They carry swords that are made of like black obsidian that like burn with a flame of anger within them. They've got these like long tongues, and they are master swordsmen. So they just start cutting down people in your command deck. Holtz is up there with 2 of his subordinates, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna have the 2 of you take over his subordinates for this.
Yeah.
All right. Would you like to run Wanderer?
Do you have art for those subordinates?
Oh, we actually never got art for Wanderer and his other.
Yeah.
the thing is, Wanderer was my only subordinate.
Yeah, actually, yeah, he only has Wanderer.
Zach probably posted
we'll have
some.
a voidsman.
Actually, wait, no, we could have one of the Walker squad up there.
The Walker.
Oh god.
So,
TLDR, the Walker Squad was a fucking mini campaign that we had.
Yeah,
also,
they were
they're the shock troops of my ship, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So you can have like a shock troop on the deck that totally makes on the bridge, right?
Hi, I'm Fred.
Totally makes sense.
Yes, you are Fred. You have no option.
And then So you got these enemies. They're on the bridge. You guys can choose who wants to go first.
If it's all the same to you, I would like to go first.
Yeah.
And I would like. I'm assuming it's not just me fighting. Like it's basically like the entire room filled with like people.
Yeah, so there's there's only 4 bloodletters, but like they're so much stronger than like the typical people on the bridge that they're just like mowing them down as you fight them.
So I would like to try and like coordinate so that I can get like all of them concentrated together, if that's like possible, because I have a thing that I want to unleash upon them.
They did appear like on all sides of the deck, like they're all the way across the bridge from each other.
Okay. In that case,
they like came in to surround you. They didn't come in like one centralized zone.
Okay, gotcha. In that case, scratch that, and I will just pull out my plasma pistol and try and shoot them.
Okay, cool. So like you draw your plasma pistol, you aim down to the command deck, and you fire. Their defense is 3.
All right. So it's ballistic skill, right?
Yes, ballistic skill.
If you have the weapon added, you should just be able to hit that little dialogue box on the right side. The little
yeah, it should automatically calculate for it.
Yeah, it looks like a speech bubble in the UI.
So I don't think it's calculated it properly because that's only one.
Yeah.
It's only 1 dice. So let me
roll your weapon skill by their own.
Skill by itself,
or no weapons, fucking ballistic skill or whatever.
Skill plus agility.
But my agility is 2, and for some reason it says roll 2 more dice. I'll roll 2 more dice.
All right.
So that's 3 successes.
Yep.
So that hits their defense. So you do the normal damage to them. They don't have any armor, so your AP doesn't matter.
I'm pretty sure that now you can just click on the thingy next to the
Yeah, the little
under the
dice for the
plasma
damage.
crystal to
You
Yeah.
also need to make a fear test when you see these creatures because they're horrifying before you.
Oh,
kill
okay.
them. So you need to make a damage difficulty number 3 fear test, and you've
So-
sort of shaken off your previous like fear and feeling.
So would that be resolve or conviction?
Resolve.
Resolve. Difficulty 3, you say?
Yes.
I only have 2 die.
And you 6.
You can still technically succeed that.
Yeah, you would need a 6 and another success, but that's exactly what.
But
you
am I
need.
lucky?
You can also take the glory to take an extra die if you want.
If
I
you
might
would
need
like,
it.
feel free. Yeah,
I might need the glory, guys. I'm sorry.
go ahead.
So that's 5, and then one more.
So that's
Yep.
a 1 success. You need a 6.
Nope.
No.
Fuck.
Okay. So your difficulty number, the defense of these creatures basically went up by 2 because of that.
Oof, so I don't even hit.
So you begin to like aim at these creatures, but like every time you look at one of them, instead of like its face, you see like one of your family members' faces, and like you see him like
That would just make me want to shoot him more.
right, but like it like distracts you. So you keep like looking back and forth between them, and you fire like into like a random direction,
All right.
and you're just sort of like taken aback by like this like mind trickery that's being put on you. So yeah, so one of these bloodletters starts to like blender through the command deck and like jumps up onto the main dais, and then like comes straight at your like trooper, your friend Fred, who's your honor guard. And what kind of combat stats do you think these guys would have? They probably have, like a defense of, like,
Fred had basically standard Cadian style armor, so flak armor, and he was sort of an
He was
average
perfectly
skill.
average.
Yeah, like in Rogue Trader
Yeah.
standards, he was like a 31 across the board.
He would probably be a 3 or a 2 across the board here.
Yeah,
Let's
so
say 3
so in
that he can
total between his own initiative and his armor, I would say probably like a maybe max of 3 or 4 soak.
And initiative 3, so like defense 2.
So this
Yeah.
bloodletter just comes like walking up to him. He's got this sword that should be wielded one-handed. I mean, sorry, it should be wielded two-handed, but he's just swinging it with one hand. Like, it's incredible the strength out of like the sinewy musculature on this creature. And he flings the sword at Fred here. So let's see, weapon skill plus initiative.
I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's,
Yeah.
2 ED on top of the normal damage.
Is Fred going to try to take a selfie with a bloodletter before it kills him, though?
So he only takes 1 extra ED. So he takes... Yeah, he's just dead. He's going to take like 14 damage. So the bloodletter just stabs him, right? Just like runs him through, pulls the blade up.
Wait. Something very important. In the Walker's campaign, Frederick's whole gimmick was that, yeah, he was perfectly average across the board, but he basically had plot armor.
Okay, so like the creature...
So he's
stabs
probably,
him
by
through.
default, this would basically cause him to survive at like 1 wound.
Yeah. So like the creature like rams him through, but like by like ramming him through, the sword goes through like a coil of electronics, like behind him, right? And so the creature just like starts to get shocked by these electronics and like drops the sword, and like Fred like goes down to his knees or whatever at 1 hit point with the sword.
I just imagine the sword just like lands on his head and knocks him the fuck out.
No, like yeah, like the electric cables like come down from the wall and like knock him out basically. The bloodletter turns and like screeches and then like flexes his fingers, and the sword like teleports from inside Fred's body like into his hand.
How I imagine it is that the bloodletter goes to hit Fred, and then Fred crouches down because he dropped something, and he hits a wall instead, and that electrocutes the bloodletter, and the wall knocks out Fred because it falls. Something like that.
So yeah, so like he'll live, but he's like on the ground. We're going to say that there's like another honor guard that the other player can take control of.
Yeah.
There's plenty of troops on the bridge. We're gonna have like every other troop like dealing with the fourth bloodletter basically. All you're dealing with one at the
Okay.
So then we're gonna switch the initiative back to you guys. We can have the assistant go.
All right.
What would she have in terms of like a weapon?
Probably either like a really nice bolt pistol or a plasma pistol. Either one of the two.
All right, so let's go with a bolt pistol because that
like a mastercrafted bolt pistol.
Theoretically, yeah. So it's like very fancy look. It's got like gold inlay. It's got like an Aquila on the side. Right?
Yeah.
So go ahead and describe the action.
Wonder will just see the bloodletter tempting to murder Fred, and she's just going to shoot at it as a normal reaction, as you would expect from a normal person.
Yeah, so she's gonna make a fear test too. So we'll say her her resolve is probably 2 as well, right? Like it can't be better. Like his her
You cannot be better than perfection.
Yeah, exactly. We'll say hers is 2 as well. It's gonna be difficulty number 3.
There you go.
Okay, so she's shaking as well, right?
Yep.
But you're gonna get 2 bonus dice because it's a mastercrafted bolt pistol.
Yeah. What should I?
So we'll say she has 6 dice when she attacks. Right? So she's gonna get 8 dice.
Oh, 8.
Yeah, and then the last one will be the wrath die. So roll 2.
Oh.
So no.
2,
1,
3,
2,
4.
3, 4. Yeah, 4.
Okay, so she just misses because it's gonna be it would be difficulty number 5, right? Because
Damn.
Defense plus the 2 from the fear. So similarly, she's like shaking and like she fires her bolt pistol sort of in a random direction, and like it bounces off of the deck and like makes a little explosion when it embeds itself in the wall. Maybe she's like screaming as she fires it, right? Like the bloodletters are a terrifying creature.
Likely.
All right, so then we'll skip over to me. One of the bloodletters will like walk up the halts and like drive its sword towards him as well.
So I also have a power sword, if that applies, and it has the trait parry.
Right, so I think it gives you +1 defense in melee.
Okay. So my defense would be 3 then.
Let me triple check that because that's it's not that important. This is narrative, but it's good to know in the future.
I'll look into it as you do it. Just go on ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, exactly as you said. +1 defense against melee attacks while wielding a parry weapon.
Yep.
So it's not going to matter too much because you rolled a bunch of 4s.
1,
2, 3, 4. So he literally just got over it. So
So he doesn't even get to shift the 6. So you're blocking the blades as he comes at you. His strength is like it boggles belief. Like the sword is so heavy when it lands on your power sword. And normally power swords sort of like break other weapons, but this one is just like completely immune to that.
It's a warp weapon.
Yay, warp fucker.
It's a warp weapon.
At least you're on better terms with this demon than the first demon we encountered in fucking session 1.
So at one point he like sweeps his blade unnaturally with the heaviness of it, and just like your blade just gets flung to the side, and then he just smashes it down into your shoulder and screams in your face as he does so. And he does 14 damage with AP -3, so like the equivalent of like 17 damage.
So I have 7 soak, so I
10.
drop it, and I have 6 wounds.
Okay, great. So go ahead and roll determination.
It's just willpower, yeah, or toughness.
It's toughness. It's actually toughness.
Yeah,
Okay.
roll dice equal to your toughness.
4 or 1
Or-
success. Yeah.
One
One.
success. Okay. So he's gonna drop you to to 0, right? And you're gonna take 1 shock. But comparatively, we're just gonna have like something happen in a second to like make it so we can't do the finishing blow, basically.
If I suffer shock, I will use gallows humor.
Yeah, what does Holt say as the creature's like screaming in your face?
You look just like my sister.
He does.
I love how that's your response. He does. He looks just like his.
So I can make a DN2 fellowship attribute test.
Yeah, go ahead. And then you're also afraid, so you're minus. It's damage. It's gonna be difficulty number 4.
Okay, that's fine because I actually have decent fellowship.
Yeah.
So
One
it's,
whole-
That's Holtz's whole shtick. So I would hope.
so is it
Yeah.
it's just the attribute? Okay.
Yeah, it's just a raw attribute test.
Yeah. So 1, 2,
Nice.
3, 4, 5, and since I got a 6 on the wrath die, does that do anything or?
It actually does
you
because
get
it is
glory.
wrath.
Oh, if I can, with that 6 on the wrath die, I have 2 Digimeltas on my fingers.
Okay, 6. So you can just use those on him.
Yeah.
As your glory thing. You say,
So
you look just like my sister, and you like put your fingers up like finger guns, and you just blow his head.
yeah.
I just imagine Holtz like, hey, you look just like my sister. Points finger guns at him, and then the fucking flash coming out.
His like face explodes, right? And like,
Yeah.
and then the creature just like vanishes in your arms basically. He was about to do like a sweeping blow with his
I just
blade.
died in your arms tonight.
We have like other like camera pans to other parts of the ship where like demons are like just murdering everybody, blowing up equipment. You see like a number of like chaos furies like taking apart a death dread, like everything in the ship is just getting like demolished by these demons all around it. Meanwhile, in the isolation chamber,
Is anything even happening in there?
you just keep getting like these like feeds of like horrible things happening on the other parts of the ship, but it's nice. There's maybe like,
Just
like,
imagine it's like a Twitter feed of like
I imagine
scared
there's like
emojis.
there's like a blinded servant in the corner like playing the harp or something,
The world's smallest violin.
But actually something like that. For flying into the warp for the first time, this is going really well.
Yeah, so you see how horrifying it is on the ship, and you're careening through the warp, but it's blind. You can't see what's coming. It's like you're seeing like 2 feet in front. It's like you're driving through like the fog, right? Like you
Yeah.
can see where your headlights are, and that's about it.
It's the thickest rainstorm you've ever driven through.
And so like you're having to make like quick fucking course changes as you see like massive objects appearing like on the fringes of your vision, right? So you're like on edge, right? Your like fingers are shaking. Your third eye is like bloodshot as you don't want to blink,
Yeah.
and suddenly something comes into your vision for a moment, and you hit something huge. You don't know exactly what it is, but you hit something huge. Because the ship just like comes out of warp. Fast, like ludicrous speed, like hitting the brakes fast. So everyone
There we go.
falls off their feet. Everyone slams into the ground. As the ship comes to a sudden screeching halt. Maybe like one of the engines like falls off the ship. Like we see it like floating behind the ship in another camera shot as the ship like comes screeching out of the warp. All the warp creatures are gone, and the ship is sort of like it's doing that thing where it's like rolling, right? Because like the power is not sufficient to keep the ship at a particular like Z plane access. And you guys are in a solar system. There's no nebula around. There's no nebula that can be seen in any direction.
And there's still
and
no
you guys just, like,
Astronomicon, is there?
and there is no Astronomicon either. But there's no nebula. Yeah, it's fucking weird.
Sator is just going to send we are alive. Warp travel successful.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of successful you got there, Sid.
Yeah, like basically as we like panned all the different characters doing the things, there's like fires being put out, right? Like people rushing around, like trying to fix up this damage. The decks are like all like opened up to space, you know? Like it's horrifying. Like the ship is like barely alive.
Yeah. Try to initiate contact to see what year we are in.
Yeah, try look at the hymnals to see what's going on. But also, like, I try and like look on the view screen and try and figure out like where exactly we are. With like no nebulas, I imagine it's very difficult to pinpoint what system we're in.
Yeah, you don't have any like
so we're gonna
point of
do
reference.
like a sensors check. Let's see what can we do for that. Let's see.
I mean, he could probably bug Gizmek in the middle of like trying to do some Medicaid stuff, and Gizmek would be in the engineering quarters.
Yeah, like somebody's gonna need to make me like an awareness check with the ship sensors, basically.
My awareness is 7.
Go ahead.
Intellect.
Yeah, my awareness is 3 with my
Mine is
bonus.
4.
Yeah.
So first off,
Yep.
Sator, like this is weird. First off, like you think that this ship should have been torn to pieces by whatever it hit in the war. It was a huge mass, whatever it was. It definitely shouldn't have come out so nicely, right?
Yeah.
Another thing is you can't really tell what system this is from all the star charts that you have. Make me an awareness test, and based upon how many successes you get, I'll give you more information.
Yep. And I'll assume that the fear doesn't matter here anymore because yeah.
No, I mean you're breathing.
Or-
Take a +1. Like we'll take one of the successes off, because you're just like, what the fuck just happened, right?
Yeah, because Sator did just hit fucking something and he's fine. Two, three. Oh, that's a 1 for the wrath dice though. If that
It
matters.
doesn't matter in non-combat, so that's not bad.
Yeah.
It's 5 total, so -1 because of the catching his breath, so 4.
Actually, I think if you roll a 1, I get a ruin, right? Is that how that works?
I don't know.
Let me double check that real quick.
We'll have to double check that, but
You
now-
can say that we only use wrath in the middle of combat or something like that, or wrath dice.
Look
Yeah,
at
for
you
now,
guys
just move
trying
along.
to get out of getting a ruin.
True.
just take
true.
a ruin and let's move along.
Okay. Acquiring ruin. Okay, I only get ruins if I crit on my wrath die, or I get ruin every time you fail a fear test. So actually, I should have a bunch of more ruins.
Oh no.
Yep.
Let's
Rip.
take a page from Warhams and cap out like our glory and your ruin at 6 max.
Yeah, no, it caps out. I have to use it or it goes away.
Yeah, during new sessions it goes away anyway, so
Yeah,
Ruin goes all the way back to full in the new session anyway. So
to 4, I'm pretty sure we go. Yeah,
it's
anyway.
ruin equal to the number of players, and I've maxed ruin equal to twice the number of players. So actually, it should have been 3, and then so I'll get rid of 1 on 1. They had 1.
All right.
And then, but there's so many fear tests.
Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 5 successes. One of them is a 6, so with 4 successes and an exalted one.
Right. So that'll be like 4 successes over the increased targeted number, basically. So 4 is pretty good. So so you're like combing through the star charts trying to figure out where you are. And you can't figure out where you are and you can't figure out when you are, but you notice that the solar system doesn't have any planets. It just has like one massive space station.
It
That's
seems like the only thing in this system is a space station.
Also, you like look through all of the damage reports, and there's no way you're going back into the warp right.
Yeah, no, I figured.
Yeah.
I ask if comms are up.
Long range comms are not working.
Okay, great. Then I guess our only bet is to send a small shuttle team to investigate the space station. Do we have any shuttles remaining, or are those fucked up too?
Yeah, you've got lighters, I'm sure. Like lighters
Right.
are. I mean, most of your fleet has been demolished, right? But I'm sure you have a number of lighters. You could probably take like 3 or 4 lighters over if you wanted.
Yeah. So before we like commit like wholeheartedly to like investigating this space station, I will have like a small group of like crewmen that are still fit and ready to go to like either A, like establish like contacts if there's people there, or B, to like establish like a landing zone for us to come in and like examine it more fully for like repairs and shit.
So as you like bring the ship is capable of moving at sublight. It's just really slow, right?
By the way, I'm going to assume that any of our psychers that we could use for communication would be just fried.
Oh yeah, your astropaths are just like
Yeah.
they were the first ones murdered. As always.
At best, they are brain dead by now.
Like you look in the astropathic choir like section of the ship, and it's just like a bloodbath, right? Like everybody's dead.
Yeah.
Slater is just thinking that he'll keep that later for demon fucking bullshit.
So what's everyone's like reaction or like thoughts about what just like went down, right? Like let's go around the table and like what's like the first thing they do after like the action like calms down?
I mean, for Holtz, it's literally just like trying to get back the ship in order. So he might not have like a time to like really reflect until like for a little while until like things are like actually like running, not necessarily like back to normal or like, but like repaired and like operable again.
Well, it'll take a couple of days to like travel in system to the space station, right?
Okay. In that case,
reflect.
Yeah. In that case, it's more like calculating his losses. Trying to figure out like what the fuck just happened. Like why Chaos attacked there. Because as far as he's aware, like there wasn't anything particularly strategic, except for like maybe his own fleet. Which means that Chaos targeted him specifically, and that leaves that raises that raises a bunch of questions actually. So he's trying to like figure out like what did he pick up that they would be interested in, because he doesn't think like individually, like he's conceited, but he's not conceited enough to think that Chaos would go after him or like any of the party individually as like a person. Yeah. So it makes him think that like there was something that he picked up that they were after. And he's trying to like go through the catalog to see what that is.
Yeah.
If it was Slaneshi, he might think of Ira as being dangerous, but it's Korn, so
yeah, it was Korn.
Still possible because she does torture people out of necessity, but you know.
Yeah, that's a good point. Why don't you roll like cunning, and I'll give you some information based on how many successes you get.
All right, I have 8 dice for this cunning. So.
Nice.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't have any more wrath die, and we don't have any glory. So 4 successes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a pretty good number for. You gotta think on that for a moment. Yeah, there's obviously that they're looking for something, and you have that something. It might be related to like those weapons that you picked up from
Hmm.
those transport ships. Like those transport ships were just like floating in space.
But
Um, and
they
you
were
thought
attacks, though,
and
right?
you thought they were just like normal weapons in them, and so you just picked them all up. But there might be something in one of those crates that are that they wanted.
But like when we found them, were they like attacked, or they like damaged, or were they just like abandoned?
They were like abandoned, like they were like floating in space.
Okay, so
They were literally like floating treasure chests in space.
in that case, yeah, I might have to see if there's anything that we can salvage, because they still chased after us even after we like vented them into space. So
Yeah, they were, and they obviously wanted to board your ship and not blow it up too, as well, right?
yeah,
So there's something about it, that maybe there's something on the ship still that they're coming after.
I'll have to look into that.
Okay.
All right.
And then Gizmek. What does Gizmek look like after the action is over?
So, Gizmek's first response to the end of battle is less let me patch up the ship and more like his immediate reaction after the actual fight is Medicae for himself and Pippi. But after that, in the
Oh
period
yeah,
of
like
travel,
you're getting like you have to go like down to like the Medicae deck, and you've got like
yeah,
the crew Medicae like
yeah, I do like a
you know,
quick patch up job with
filling
my
you up.
Medicae Mechadendrite to like stabilize us basically, and then we head to the infirmary
Yeah.
where we knowing that I'm Gizmek and knowing that I give zero shits, I ignore the line and the queue waiting for the infirmary from all the other people fucked up on the ship and skip to the front.
Holtz has already listed Gizmek as priority, anyways, just by virtue of him being like a crew member.
Yeah,
Like a
it's
Yeah.
not. It's probably like in the moment, it's not even that. In retrospect, they look it over and see the priority log and like, oh, he was in front anyway. But in reality, what he does is he just walks past everyone, and everyone's just cowering as he goes past, angry as shit. And Pippi's just following along behind him, just like, like happily waving at everyone.
I mean,
Yeah.
Pippi is not doing so hot herself, right? Like she took a serious blow to the head. She's got like a concussion. She probably
Yeah.
like got her
Yeah,
she probably got like her skull cracked a little, right?
yeah, he had to stitch her up a little bit. She's probably knowing her still waving at people, but doing it like less enthusiastically than she normally would, just because of brain trauma.
Do you say anything to her about the fact that she like saved your life?
It ain't good, kid.
Did I?
Yeah.
He like rubs her like her wound or whatever.
You swing around that axe like a real orky kid.
Thanks, Gizmo.
Yeah, bro. Now let's get on with it. You, patch us up. And that's basically
Yeah, like they're in the middle of like stitching up literally like a meter long cut in your shoulder down to like your midsection.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this huge thing. That's like the immediate aftermath after the fight. But once we have like been patched up and are basically waiting around, Gizmek, knowing Gizmek's physiology, he's able to stand up and walk around like the next day because orcs are bullshit in that respect.
Yeah.
Pippi
Yeah.
is still basically bedridden, but he goes about, he meets up with Grismo and they start assessing damage, and he's now focused entirely like single-mindedly on getting scrap metal from whatever he can and patching up necessary holes
Yeah, so
in a
there's a
very
lot of
rudimentary
scrap
orc
metal
fashion.
because there was a lot of damage. So that like
Yeah.
basically like the like you even take like the chest piece that fell off of the Chaos Space Marine that landed on the deck, and you're using that to patch up like a hole in like one of the walls.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're just patching up fucking everything in the most rudimentary orky fashion possible. It's just patch, 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 patch. Maybe a can of black spray paint every now and then to go with a Blackstone and make it harder.
So what does Holtz think about that? Like his ship is basically being like turned into like a junkyard.
does it work?
Maybe.
All right, then he's cool with it.
I love Holtz's reaction to Gizmek this whole time. It's just been like, does it function? Yes, cool. Go on.
Like, so there is something you say about like using like chaos like space marine shit. But as long as like Gizmek like torched like took a blowtorch to the army and like made it just like entirely black.
Oh, he
like,
probably spray painted the shit out of that armor with black paint.
Yeah.
He probably knowing that the Blackstone is like the Blackstone, he assumes, all right, Blackstone, black, keep it hard, has like an entire stash of black spray paint in one of like the internal quarters, but has the engine deck and just spray paints all the shit.
Yeah, this isn't the first time like Gizmek has done like orc things to the ship, and Holtz brought him on specifically because like he's an orc, and specifically the fact that he was a mech boy. That interested Holtz. So like him doing orc things to the ship, especially since right now it's at a small scale. I don't think it bothers him like at all.
It's basically like Gizmek doesn't have the materials nor the tools and manpower at the moment to do a proper fix up. So this is a fundamental patch job just to make sure that less people get voided into space. Basically, is what he's after.
So why don't you give me a tech test with like your mech boy bonus?
All right, so it would be. I think it's a tech.
The number of successes will go towards fixing the ship for this couple of days that you're floating towards the station.
All right, so I get double rank. So this plus another 46. Wait, what the hell? Why is that so? That seems wrong.
Wait, you got a glory.
What is your tech and then what is your int?
My int is 4 and my tech rating is 4.
So you should have
Just roll another 4. It's
another 4 dice. Yeah.
Roll 20 is a bit weird sometimes with this.
You can increase it to 8s by just like hitting the arrow.
Yeah, but just roll a 4 right now anyway because
Yeah, it didn't improve your tech by your intellect for some reason.
Yeah,
it didn't do that for any of my skills.
Yeah, it also didn't do that for me for a while, but then it just fixed itself randomly.
Yeah. So we'll take the second roll, and then you get to roll your bonus die as well for being a mech, right?
Yeah, so I get to double my bonus, so it's an additional 46.
Yep.
Oh, well then we'll just have those other 4 at the top, or you can use those. That's cool. Okay, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes. So like the ship is able to move faster as the days progress, as the orky tech begins to pile up on the ship. The ship now looks more like a junk cruiser than like an actual like real battleship. It's got like it's taken so much damage in the decks that's gotten repaired by this like scrap technique. It looks like it's got like a smile now.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that because of those 2 6s, the ship somehow works just fine. Mostly,
well, it was working okay before. Like it was
still functional before. It's just now it's not going to jettison as many people out into the void.
But I don't know if Gizmek knows sort of how warp cores work because like there's something missing with the warp core that's making it not function.
I mean, his solution would probably be to hit it with a wrench. So
that's not.
And that would be where Holtz says, "No, don't touch the warp core."
Gizmek would fucking die.
You would keep me as far away from your warp core as possible. Quite
like every time Sator tries to hit the warp, it just sort of does like that, like power up and then power off cycle, basically.
Okay, it's like when you try to turn on an old-ass car and just turns off when you try to power it up or something like that.
And then another thing is like whenever he opens his third eye, he's not seeing the Astronomicon either. So he's not really sure what the hell is going on.
Sator would probably assume that it's the fucking ship doesn't do its job properly. Instead of the Astronomicon is gone because
Yeah, that leaping to conclusions that the Astronomicon is gone seems like the illogical thing to do. all things considered. So I don't think we've reached that conclusion yet. Probably like a warp storm or something.
We were in basically an alternative universe where Chaos took over and the Astronomicon was gone there, but yeah.
Oh yeah, the glass dimension.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
anyway.
see the previous season 1. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
But after
So what does Sador do for those couple
Yeah.
of days?
First things first, immediately he would be checking on Ira to make sure that somehow Demonettes didn't sneak in and are trying to murder her.
For those of you
Yeah,
who don't, we actually didn't go over this.
She locked herself in a closet during all of the the chaos attack, basically.
Yeah, I don't think we actually mentioned during the intro little sequence when you were having your drinking party, but Ira is a Drukari, for those of you who don't know and are just joining us in season 2. So she is constantly at odds with the grip of Slanesh, and that is what is being concerned about here.
Yeah, I bet you we had like a camera shot of like Demonettes like being outside of the isolation chamber, and then like a shot of her in a closet with like the Demonettes through like the like holes in the closet, and her just like terrified, like
Demonettes fucking tearing everyone to shreds in there and hoping that they don't fucking find her in there.
I'm just imagining the fucking hide under the table meme, except under the table is Ira and the fucking Demonettes or the Terminator.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's exactly the scene we have.
Because
we have, like behind like a metal sheet, and like the Demonettes are like sniffing it's like Velociraptors, right?
Because while the other guys outside are suffering things really, really bad, she's gonna suffer 1,000 times worse if they find her.
Yeah, so she's pretty shaken up about the whole demon thing. If you want to like calm her down or tell her something.
Yeah.
You want to give me like a leadership check to sort of snap her out of it so she can help with doing other stuff. Make it difficulty number 2 because she's fucking afraid of.
Yeah.
Shit.
1.
Yeah, she's working half-heartedly. She's always looking over her shoulder. She's not getting as much done. Yeah.
Sator will probably send her to fucking rehab or whatever.
Send her to a mental health. There's no mental health facility on
there exists no mental health in 40K.
Send her to the freaking chaplain, for
purification.
Purification.
Yeah, if fucking like Malachi and such were still around, we would have his like battle sister friend, but she would probably be less help.
She's probably just gonna use way more drugs to deal with that, probably. Because
she's looting. She's looting Sit's stash.
You are saying that Sator isn't sharing, implying that Sator doesn't share.
Sator shares and she loots more of your stash when you're still not looking. Roll a toughness check for her to not OD. Anyway.
After that, Sator would be hopes to fuck that his drug leg completely exploded so that none of the fucking chaos people got things like his polymorphine, and then he will realize, oh wait, and check his pockets to see if he has it on him or he has any left on him or not.
Does he?
Honestly, they'd have at least 2 doses on him.
Okay, so you just like feel a wave of relief as you have a couple left over, but there's like a little extra fear in the back of your mind of when you're gonna get more.
Yeah. Sator doesn't mind too much if he lost them because he does know how to make them. It's just that the materials are a pain to get. And
is he like super addicted?
No, not really. He's not really addicted to his drug. He's just using them for recreation. Funnily enough, in Rogue Trader, he never got addicted to anything because he will never use his drugs too much.
Yeah, the thing about Rogue Trader is that like all of the addiction tests involve like using the same drug over and over again. So there is a bit of a loophole of.
It's like you need to use these drugs at least 2 times per week, but every combat session would happen like several weeks apart, and I would only use them when very necessary anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just use it as like a part of like character motivation. There wouldn't be like a negative to being addicted, right?
Yeah.
It's just
Sator is not completely addicted, but to a drug specifically. But he would be like, if he had no drugs at all, at some point he would hate it.
I'd be
Yeah.
really bummed out. Yeah, like the collective hangover would kill him.
We also
not-
never used the polymorphine, so there's no chance of addiction to polymorphine specifically.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Um,
The last thing would be that if he heard of that space marine that PP killed, he would immediately try to get his body.
oh yeah, so you're like dragging his body like across
Yeah.
the.
He would probably throw it in a freezer because he wants to attempt to find out how to, extract the gene seed or whatever out
I'm
of
just
him, and if he
imagining
has any.
Actually, when you go down to that section of the engineering bay, there's other Chaos Space Marine bodies like around, but that one was like dragged off by somebody. You can see like the blood marks on the ground as it was dragged away.
Yeah, it was probably Gizmek taking it along to chuck it out into the void, if anything.
Would be
No, because Gizmek was like barely alive when he got pulled out.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Sator would.
Boy, where'd
follow-
that kid go?
Sator would try to follow very carefully.
Yeah, so it basically like the blood marks. Give me a cunning test.
I have basically 0 cunning.
Yeah, well, you have to give me a cunning test.
Cunning with int, you said, right?
It will make
What
sense
information
to
you
be.
get.
Should I go cunning with int then?
Yeah, with int. Yeah.
All right. 2
You're
successes.
good. So you managed to follow the blood trail for a ways through the ship, and it like goes up to one of the patched up holes in the hull. It looks like there was a hole there, but then it got patched up with like orc tech.
Yeah. So there is it just goes through a wall, and then that wall is covered up with.
I'm assuming that wall like leads to the void.
Yeah, it's like one of the exterior panels to the ship.
Yeah.
Oh, so he threw himself
Say-
out for Gizmek.
He got dragged out by something.
Sator would be curious about that, but it would be way too focused on. Oh my god, so many dead fucking space marines.
And then there's like some other like techs like working around the area. Do you want to like ask them about the hole in the hull or something?
He would ask,
Gizmo would have
like,
probably stayed around there.
he would ask, like,
Give me, like,
hey,
a fellowship test, like difficulty 2.
I'm gonna roll 1. My fellowship is literally 0 because I have a -1, even though I'm pretty sure that it cannot go below 0. I'll just roll
You can't
1d6.
go below 0. You can only go to 1.
Yeah. 3. No.
Yeah, like every time you try to talk to one of the engineers, they just sort of like are not looking at you, and everyone tries to like get away from you. So like anytime you try to talk to somebody, it's somebody that didn't manage to get away. They don't really know anything. So you don't manage to get any information out of anybody.
Could Sator attempt intimidation?
If you'd like, but that would just make it so they might give you wrong information.
No, he's just going to care more about possibility of extracting gene seed from dead space marines.
And honestly, that like low cunning test, that low fellowship test is you being intimidating and everyone being like, I don't want to deal with.
Fair enough.
Now, if you manage to figure out the right person and like lock them down, and you needed to like interrogate them, yeah, intimidation would totally work. But
Yeah.
you don't even know if anybody like he's like every tech was like, oh no, I wasn't like I've just been reassigned here like yesterday or whatever. I'm not sure what happened here.
Sator doesn't care.
All around the place, right? So,
Sator doesn't care enough for one single dead space marine guy to be looking for his body all day. He has all of this fucking corn shit and dead space marine that he can collect instead.
Yeah, so like, Sator's like scratching his head about this hole on the wall, and we're gonna have like a little set piece scene where we're on the deck of the giant battleship. The Chaos Lord is up on his throne of skulls, and his favorite disciple lays dead on the floor in front of him. He screams out in eternal rage. We'll go back. We'll go back to the ship.
And
Um,
Gizmek just sneezes. Eh.
yeah. Gives back like someone's thinking about him, right? Okay.
Someone's screaming in anger in his general direction. He just sneezes and gets on with his work.
So you guys get close enough to this space station to finally get a visual, and it is this massive sphere, perfect sphere. It's gray. It's a similar size to like a planet. Actually, it's gigantic. Um,
Is it the
and
Death Star?
No, it's not the Death Star. It's a perfect sphere. No,
No
like
giant crater hole for a
no
laser?
giant crater hole.
Yeah.
No like
No crude space egg.
yeah, nothing like that. It's like perfect sphere. In fact, when you like use your sensors, it's actually like a perfect sphere to like like the fourth or fifth decimal place.
Would we not have mistaken it for a planet when we first saw it? Or
Well, no, because it's like got like a hollow interior, and it's got like power signals coming from.
okay.
So there's something going on in this sphere.
Damn, these calculations would give the mechanic him a hard on.
Yeah. It's been like tooled to like such an incredible degree. And its orbit is a perfect circle around the star as well. Also to like 4 decimal places.
I during the time that we've been like traveling, Holtz would have spared at least a few resources to see if we could get like comms back up, like long range Vox comms. Has that gone anywhere or?
The signal just shoots out into the void, and you don't get any return signals.
Okay. I will have Sator and Gizmek like in like a war room essentially, as we like get close enough to it. One, to talk about like what we're gonna do with like this space station that we don't know what it is, and two, like to talk about like what the fuck just happened these past couple days ago.
Yeah, finally catching up with one another because we were also preoccupied.
Yeah. And in fact, can we start with that? Yeah.
So we should all like report on what we've been doing and such.
No, like just like talk about like what the fuck just happened.
Yeah.
Now that we like have the ship like back in order.
You called us up here, Hoots.
Yeah. Yes, I wanted to talk about that catastrophe that happened a few days ago.
That was a good scrap.
Yes, and we also lost 3 of our 4 ships.
Yeah, they blew my gate crusher!
I saw that, Gizmek. And yet they didn't blow up the Blackstone.
Oh yeah, 'cause my gate crusher goes fast, but your Blackstone's hard.
Sure. Gizmek.
Yeah.
When I have like a tactical view of like the Blackstone on like a hollow screen if that's a thing, and like I show like where like the breaches were for like the boarding torpedoes, and they were all like in the where were they concentrated at? Like were they concentrated like around where Gizmek was?
I had the impression that they were sort of scattered around fucking everywhere.
Okay.
I'm not sure what was the concentration of our breaching tornadoes, Mr. GM.
Maybe like 100 hit the ship or something like that.
Yeah, but like where were they concentrated on like a specific point, or were they like spread all over?
I mean, they sort of just like hit all over the back end of your ship because that's all they could hit. Right?
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Um,
So yeah, they
The-
probably hit around the like engineering quarter and some of the rear batteries mostly.
okay. I was like trying to like examine like their movements, and specifically like I think I can like connect the dots here, and the fact that I've evented a specific area, and that also just happened to be the cargo where like the weapons were, and like the path that they would have had to take to get there specifically, I imagine would have been like very deliberate.
I
And
mean,
GM, correct me if I'm wrong.
it's tough to tell because like the majority of the like rabble or whatever were uh
Crazed chaos
like
cultists that just
crazy
swung at
cultists.
everything.
They're running in every fucking direction, right? And then like
Yeah.
you know, in Spurs were like elite, you know, a couple of elite Marines, right? Of which, you know, and the you know the cameras of the event, like, it's tough to say because the electronics got all screwed up, right? Like there's like a bunch of missing footage, you
We do know that a
know.
good concentration of the Space Marines did wind up in the engineering quarters from previously.
Like if you scroll too much forward into the footage and you go to like the part where you went through the warp, like there's just like fucking like warp shenanigans on the line, right?
It's like when you
Yeah.
download a video file via a torrent and you only get part of it, and that just
Like a
skips.
demonette pops out of the screen, you know?
Yeah.
Demon jump scare.
We suffer like 80 corruption to our mortal soul. Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
You will
So,
die in
like,
7 days as Sadako.
the video footage doesn't really isn't really, you know, reliable, you know. It's
Wow.
difficult to say.
I would like to posit at least one theory. I don't really have definite proof on it, but I no doubt believe that if they wanted to, those ships had the firepower to wipe out the Blackstone fairly easily. The Blackstone's tough, but even it couldn't stand up to the macro cannons that and lances that those capital ships were sporting.
Oh yeah, this ship's hard, but them ships was bigger.
Exactly, Gizmac. So my question is, why did they send boarders?
Ah, them some of them corny boys. They's wanted a good scrap one-on-one mano a mono.
Sator, you
Yes.
have experience with this. Is that does that match your assessment, or do you have a different idea?
Can you give me a rough idea again of what we're talking about? I'm slightly lost.
So like I'm trying to figure out like why the corn berserkers
Attacked us,
boarded-
and it's mainly
boarded our
because
ship specifically instead of just
Yeah.
like killing us.
instead of destroying it. Your idea is the weapons.
Oh, like that they were looking for something. My
His idea is
immediate
the
thought is
weapons.
the weapons.
My
Yeah.
response
Yeah.
as Gizmek was, they wanted a scrap one-on-one, a mano a mono. They're some corny boys.
Well, there's a lot they could have hoped to gain, and Sator Sodor shows off one of his polymorphine bottles.
Yes, but would they have known about that?
Unlikely. I severely doubt that they had someone on the inside.
Yes, I've been pretty thorough about keeping spies away from our ship. Still, it's concerning that they like. Going through the logs like of where we were. I'm trying to like figure out like anything like that was of strategic value. I don't even think we were near like a specific planet. We were pretty far away from like the core of the Imperium by virtue of being a rogue trader. So like, why were we all the way out there? Or why was Chaos all the way out there? And I can't like no matter what
Yeah,
I think.
you guys were like approximately towards the center of the galaxy, because that's where like the cicatrix like cut through, right? You basically like cut right over you is the idea. But yeah, there was like these transport ships just like filled with weapons, just sitting.
Yeah. As of right now, we wouldn't know that the fucking
Yeah, we don't know about Fall Acadia yet.
What was so important about us that they brought a fucking moon through the warp?
I don't know, Gizmek. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, don't yell at me about it, or I'll yell at you about it.
They brought the moon to prevent us from going into the warp. Why bring a moon specifically? Because they are corn worshippers. Why do you think?
Well, as far as I recall, the colony boys don't like the psyche boys. They don't like having the weird boys on their ships and whatnot.
That's exactly why they brought a moon.
To keep us from using our psychic abilities?
Yeah, I guess.
From leaving, from running away.
Oh yeah, so it's more your department, Soot.
I suppose.
We got incredibly lucky that whatever that thing blew up, whatever it managed to do that.
Yeah, I believe that was the tachyon arrow that we looted from that space Hulk.
Oh yeah, the ticky thing.
Oh, we finally used that thing.
Well, we didn't get to use it at all. One of them gets did.
Yeah.
Let it be down to chaos to self-sabotage itself.
It would be in character.
Gizmek just takes the remote for the cameras and whatnot and continues looping the footage of the one chaos worshipper accidentally firing the tachyon arrow into the moon over and over again, like he's rewinding the funniest clip of a dog falling down a staircase or something.
This is a mystery of why they attacked us, but I'm afraid that we don't have enough information to go any further. I'd like to look at the present right now. We have this unusual space station, clearly of artificial make, but it's not responding to our comms, and we received no word or acknowledgement from them. I recommend sending a team in there, and obviously we're going to have to go in there ourselves, but sending a team in there to see if there's anything we can establish. Worst case, we're going to have to go in there and, well, we can use some of the material of that ship to repair our own ship and see if we can get that warp drive working.
Well, in other news of the present, the Astronomicon seems to be gone as of now. I'm not sure if it's the ship malfunctioning or something worse.
What do you mean, gone?
It's simply not there. I cannot detect it under any circumstance.
Are you saying that there's a warp storm blocking it?
It's definitely not a warp storm. I'm pretty sure of that.
It looks like clear skies all around. It looks like just stars all around the system.
It is not a warp storm.
But you can't tell what system you're at. The stars don't match up to any system that's in your
to anything that Sator would know or we know in general.
Yeah. Maybe that Yumi Nastronomi nom of yours just don't reach all the way out here, wherever we is.
The Astronomicon reaches all the way across the galaxy, Gizmek.
That's what you Yumis think. You're always so uptight about this shit.
The Astronomicon, if the Astronomicon is so weak, then why don't you just become a weird boy and navigate the ship yourself, Gizmek?
Excuse me, you don't just get to be a weird boy, you're born a weird boy. Those kids have the worst headaches. I'll pass.
If we're finished with that, yes, I guess our only choice is to go into the space station. All right, that's our only path forward.
Just in case that giant little orby in the sky has any weapons on it, I'd recommend we don't get too close with the ship. It's already taking so long to repair all this shit.
I'll be sending in a glider just to make sure that that it's safe to land there. Or it is safe to send ourselves in there. We won't be docking anywhere near it until we can confirm it's safe. And,
I would rather we don't blow up in a whatever a small ship in 40k is called again.
Lighter.
Yeah.
An Argus or whatever. Argus lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like in the last like day or so, like an engineer has found like a small uh like hole in the sphere. It's probably a docking bay.
All right. Then yeah, I send like a small team of people that are like able to like go, and I send them on a glider just to like establish like a landing zone for us to come in on another one if there's nothing else in there.
So you send like a scout, like a small scout party.
Yeah.
They head over to the sphere. They go into the docking port. Um, and you know, a couple of maybe like an hour later, they come out and they have like a message, which is you know, atmosphere normal. There's some sort of like shield over the docking port that maintains the atmosphere within. Uh, it's a it's some sort of like metal facility within. It looks just like an imperial like docking station.
Is there any of your Yumi signs on it? Like, are there
Yeah, I was about to say.
are there any imperial symbols whatsoever anywhere?
Yeah, the Aquila is shown throughout.
Ah, so you got all them birdies there. That must be a Yumi place.
Do I have anyone like? Do I? I imagine I have like some like engine seers at the very least, or like some like a few tech priests around.
Yeah. I mean,
And
they
you
have to
have me.
maintain everything.
Yeah. I'd like to like commandeer one, for the moment, just to see if and like, and have him join us, as we ourselves like go into a glider and like dock at this place.
All right, give me like a leadership check so I could see how good of a engine seer this guy would be.
Yeah. 7 dice for this, not the 5 that I had before. So, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, great. So he's above average engine seer. His name is like X539. And
Followed by 20 other digits.
He's got like 8 mechanical legs that he walks around on. He's got like the red robe of Mars.
Actually, it would be probably more fitting for it to be maybe Bitbug.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't talked about Bitbug at all. Like, I don't even know if we've introduced Bitbug in like the original campaign.
He did.
We
He
did
did
not.
actually mention him a couple times, but we haven't really gone into detail.
We did
about
like twice or 3 times.
Well, we can just say this guy is Bitbug, but yeah,
Yeah, this guy could be nicknamed Bitbug.
yeah, I'm fine with
I
that.
mean, your description matches him. Let me get
He
his
like-
art
he like-
because he was a
He like
old
bows
character that I was
before
gonna play.
you, like and yeah, it says you wish to talk to me about the holy sphere.
Yes, I was hoping that we could bring you along to see if we could discern its age and perhaps discern what time period we're in, since the hymnals have been quiet.
If a tech priest could get a boner, he got a boner just from hearing.
The toaster pops with some bread in it.
Oh yeah, like chunk, ting.
I take that as a yes.
His like mandibles like clutter together, like. And he goes, "That would be most exciting, Lord."
This would be oh damn, it's taking a moment to load, but this would be the art of Bitbug, actually.
Yep.
Well, there you go. That's really funny that the random thing I came up with is kind of similar to what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
gonna
would
show it
say
up
that
on the
his
stream
robe
for
covers
everyone.
more of his accoutrement than that. But his mechadendrites aren't nearly as like imposing. They're more for like repair work and stuff. They're not for like war stuff.
Oh yeah. To be fair, this art was intended for a like a heresy sided
Dark Crusade. Or Black Crusade.
Yeah, it was originally intended to be a heretic Mechanicus, but he still works as a regular Mechanicus because Mechanicus don't care and
They're pretty
don't look too different.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like he's very excited to go to onto the sphere with you.
All right. Then yeah, we go onto the sphere.
Yeah.
Okay, so you load up on like 4 Arvis lighters. It's like you guys in one, and then maybe like the Tech Marine and like his like a small bunch of technicians to go with him, and then maybe like 2 of them are filled with like Voidsmen, right?
Yeah. Sounds good
Tech
to me.
priest.
Yeah.
Tech Priest, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
he just
so-
commandeers the armor of one of the the fucking dark Astartes and becomes a
Yeah,
tank
yeah.
marine instead.
Yeah, so you guys, okay, so it's a pretty imposing like vision like going in. You got this like gray ass sphere, right? It takes up the entire view screen. So it's massive as you're like coming down to like a tiny little port on one end of it. It's like exactly at the equator and like exactly facing away from the star, right? Again, to like 4 decimal places of accuracy. It's perfectly positioned. The sphere itself is like tidally locked to the star, so like the side that's facing it is always the same as it like it orbits all the way around. And you go into this docking port, and I need you all to make awareness tests for me. Difficulty 4.
Alrighty.
Yep.
I somehow succeed, and you got a 6 on the raft die.
Only 3.
2 6s.
Both of you succeed.
Yeah, so Sator, you just see like a normal like Imperial docking pad for like a normal like capital ship for some reason, with like all of the like Aquillas on the walls, like the normal like equipment. Holtz and Gizmek, you see like a flicker of like blue like shimmer across the docking port as the lighters come into. And Gizmek, you actually don't see an Imperial docking port. You see like a mech bay for like an orc capital ship, like a docking port for an orc capital ship with like
Oi, where's all the Aquila?
with the orky like face banners everywhere, right? Like
Yeah, like the orc skulls and everything. Is there like a specific clan I'm seeing?
whatever clan you are.
I was a freebooter technically, but I sort of have some sort of like relation to Blood Axes, so I'd probably be seeing something akin to that just because of their.
It's probably just like it's probably like a combination of all the different clans because it's a freebooter docking port. Basically.
Yeah.
It's
All
sort
right.
of the other two of you, and then Holtz again, like you see the shimmer, but then afterwards it's an Imperial docking.
You said Gizmek, you don't see the Aquila?
No, it looks like a freebooter place.
Did you see that blue shimmer?
Yeah, must be lucky then.
I
No.
only see the Imperial landing port, but I wasn't paying attention.
Gizmek, this thing might be projecting an illusion to make it seem like a... But that would mean it's using some sort of psychic awareness?
Oi, sit.
Yeah. Normally here in Rogue Trader I would use Signitions, but that doesn't really... But
He's trying to do
navigators
like
don't get
psychic
that in here.
awareness, basically. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
not getting like a psychic like feedback. So you're not feeling any psychic energy.
Well, it's not psychic, so this is something technological.
Yes, but how...
Hopefully not the Dark Eldar.
If it's the Dark Eldar, I'm afraid that this is where our journey ends. Hopefully we're a bit more lucky than that.
Hey,
Did you bring your-
they shimmered
did you
all
bring your-
blue. We better be lucky.
Sator, did you bring your Jukari like companion?
I'm pretty sure that she is
She's
way
still
too
cowering
mentally
on the
unstable
ship.
right now.
Okay, cool. Yes, everyone that came
Pippi's
with
still
is
recovering. Grismo's still on the
Sator
ship.
would rather let her use all of his drugs than bringing her in this mission because yeah.
Right on. Yeah, so the other lighters have like opened up and like the voidsmen are like setting up a perimeter around the lighter.
Okay.
The one for the tech priest ship opens up as well, and he comes out and like prostrates himself on the ground and like starts to like burn some incense.
Oi, get you.
Well, you guys are inside your lighter, so tell me if you want to go out.
Holtz will go out and
Okay,
like
so-
examine the place, but
the back panel of the lighter opens up, and you guys like walk out onto the ground.
Zator would rather first try to look into the warp to see if there is anything funky around.
And there's like an interesting like effect where every time one of you guys takes like a footstep, it makes like an echoing sound as if you're walking on like an imperial like panel. But every time Gizmek takes a step, it makes it sound like he's walking on like broken
Scrap metal.
Yeah.
And like we can hear that difference.
Yeah. No, it's definitely like a weird thing.
I wonder what Ira would be seeing.
What's
if
up with
she
you
came with
humans
us.
walking all so dainty like?
Gizmek, we're all walking the same.
Yeah, yeah. It sounds like you've got nothing going on under your crunch.
I jump like as hard and like stomp the floor as hard as I can in my power armor,
And it makes like a
just
ping.
to prove the point.
Yeah, it makes like a ping sound, like you like it's like clean metal. Yeah.
What? You just... What?
Exactly, Gizmek.
Very disorienting, actually.
All right, let me try
Gizmek looks
something.
down and just stomps on the ground in his carapace armor and his big orc
Makes
foot.
like a crunch.
Zator is going to join in and try punching the floor with his power fist.
Yeah, again, like it makes like a ping sound, like you would like punch like a normal metal. It maybe like leaves like a crack, like on the metal. And then those that passed the awareness test earlier see like a blue shimmer, and the crack goes away.
What the hell?
The other Sator, you just see the crack on the ground, and then like you forget that the crack existed, and it goes away, but like you don't notice it going away.
There's some wonky shit, that is.
I go to the tech priest, who I imagine is still in the middle of a ritual.
Oh yeah, he's like a third of the way through his like ritual.
All right, then in that case, I'll just keep examining the place. Is there like a cogitator like in the immediate vicinity, or?
I don't think there would normally be cogitators like in the docking bay. Like normally they would be like
in like a command thing above it.
in the bridge or whatever.
Okay, in that case,
there are like mechanical like things about, right? Like there's normally in a docking bay there's like turrets and like maybe there's like a data pad on a surface or something, right?
Knowing
Anything you would
Gizmek,
expect to be in a docking bay for your character is like present. And
yeah.
Okay.
All right. At this point, Gizmek is go. Like Gizmek doesn't give a shit about their like humana rituals because he's an orc. So he's gonna walk over to Bitbug and he's just gonna like tap him on the shoulder and say, "Hey, stop the ground from me. I want to see what it sounds like for you."
Bitbug like arches his back in like religious fervor and like pulls open like a metal box that has like a very fancy looking like a swinging censer, and he like fills it full of incense and starts to like swing it back and forth and start to hum in binary.
Oh, you goddamn toaster fuckers.
Gizmek, I'm pretty sure that Gizmek does actually know binary.
Yeah, I actually do know binary from the Rogue Trader.
Yeah, you don't want to know what he's saying. It's fucking crazy.
I would know what he's saying though. That's the thing.
I know I'm saying like you do know what he's saying, but like it's
I just sort of
something
tune
that,
it out because it's some bullshit.
It's like so antithetical to you, right?
It's some Yumi bullshit. It's some
Yeah.
weird technophile bullshit that Gizmek doesn't
It's
even
like,
want to
it's
give a
like,
shit about.
oh, Void Dragon, so on and so forth.
Hey, for Dragon of Messiah, blah blah blah. Ah, you fucking toaster fuckers. He just walks off.
Messiah.
I go to the the people that have like set up a perimeter, and I ask if they have like any sort of like details of like the surrounding areas, if they've scouted out that far yet, and if they haven't, I will send like a small team to like scout out the area, like immediate vicinity.
Yeah, there's like some doorways that are currently closed, but they have like panels, so you could like open them up by like putting your palm on it or something.
Okay.
So one of the scout units gives you an equivalent salute and runs over to one of these panels and puts his palm on it, and the door like opens, and there's like a big like hallway beyond, and they just start to like walk down the hallway, and then after they leave, the door closes.
I try. Like, do they have like? I imagine they would have had like Vox communication capabilities. Try and keep in
Okay.
contact with them.
The moment the door closes, Vox no longer connects to it.
Good to know. All right, we won't be sending any more scout teams in.
Should we wait for them?
I'm waiting for Bitbug to finish his bullshit.
So like an hour later, he finally finishes his ritual.
Oh yeah, of course, that has to be
And,
like an hour.
and he begins to like probe into the space. What do you ask?
So first of all, like I ask him to do fulfill Gizmek's request to like stomp on the ground. Though I'm pretty sure I can guess what the reaction will be.
Yeah, it's like the same docking bay. He's seeing the same docking bay you guys are.
Did I ask him if he saw the blue shimmer?
What, my lord?
The blue shimmer.
Nothing of the sort, my lord. It's just a docking bay.
Interesting. If I told you that Gizmek sees orc symbology around here, in fact, Gizmek, stomp the floor for me.
Yeah, so you's got all your fancy power armor boots, and when he jumped, it went like all dink and whatnot. Meanwhile, I stomped the floor, it goes.
Yeah, so like you do that, and Bitbug looks like very perplexed.
There's some sort of technological field that's for lack of a better terminology, affecting how we perceive the area.
Yeah.
I've already tested for psychic phenomena, and according to Sator, there hasn't been any, which leads me to believe that the sensation is entirely technological.
Yeah, for example, I's not seeing any of your Quilla and gay symbol stuff. I'm seeing over there's like a speed freak skull. Gizmek just
Actually,
goes
that's
on
a good
pointing things
question.
out.
Do you see it? Do you see mechanicum symbols? Specifically there or there.
The symbol of the Omnisci is ever present in this place. It is a wonder.
I only see Aquila's tech priest.
Sator is just going to go, I wonder. He's going to like
Yeah, like his Bitbug's like mechanical eye like blinks a couple times, like he doesn't understand what you're saying, right? And he says, I guess the Omnisci wishes for us to see what is familiar to us. It welcomes us to his glorious place.
Yeah, but why would your Omnisire want me to see all my orky stuff? Wouldn't he want me to see all your Omni stuff?
Well, no, he would want you to feel at home.
Or perhaps
this place is
we're
a
being
holy
lured
place.
in.
I want to test something. Sator is going to pull out the data slate and try to basically do a recording of an area of where the Aquilas are and such. And after that, he's just. After
Yeah,
that,
so
he's.
you take a recording, and then you play it back, and it shows like for each person, it shows what they're seeing. So like, it shows.
So it affects
we-
data slate.
Yeah.
Do we have at least like long-term communication with our ship?
Judging by the fact that we don't have Vox communication with people on the other side of a door, as soon as we step beyond the door, we probably won't have any.
Actually, the moment you guys landed, you lost Fox communication with the ship.
Ah, fantastic.
Oi, do you have any, one of them, fancy Yumi flare systems or something to tell him that something's funky?
Can you send long-term communication message back to the ship?
Don't
No.
pop a yellow flare, otherwise they'll explode us.
We don't have any communication with the ship. A flare will only send more ships down here. We'll have to do this on our own, unless we want to head back immediately.
Oi, Bitbug!
Yes.
Isn't there isn't there also another scouting ship here?
We can try and send one back, but I'd rather secure the perimeter for right now.
Gizmek is trying to bug Bitbug's attention, and when he gets it, he's just like, point me to one of your interface ports or something that you can see around here. I want to see it for myself. basically he's trying to. He's asking Bitbug, is there any like port or anything of the sort that would be like an interface position for any of the Mechanicus, like tech priests or whatnot?
Yeah, but like everybody sees like their own version of the interface port.
So they're all in the same position essentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, my point is that orcs don't really have anything equivalent to Imperium interface ports.
You have like there's like electrical ports that are like setting out like currents of electricity now and then that's in the same location.
All right, I'm gonna go over and see if I can interface in some way, shape, or form with that plug-in using the mechadendrites in my multi-tool.
All right, give me a tech test. Difficulty 2.
All right.
And you can use your orc bonus as well.
All right, so I'm gonna roll a 12 total.
Because this is orky technology, right?
This
Yeah,
is
it's
technically orky technology. At least the way Gizmek sees it.
Oh shit!
Oof.
1 on the raft die though.
1 on the raft die, so that's going to be a success with a cost. So yeah, so you like, start to interface with this port, and
Imagine I get like shocked by the currents and whatnot.
yeah, like you screw it up a little bit the first time, and so you end up taking like we're gonna give you like
Point of shock.
D3 shock. Let's see,
Quite literally shock.
2 shock. You're gonna get 2 shock.
Ah!
And,
Folks can try to remove that.
Only when I am wounded.
All right.
and it's a data port like it should be, but there's absolutely no data coming out of it.
This is some funky shit. I should be getting readings and numbers and all that, and there's nothing.
I guess our only option is to explore further inside.
There's places a dead end. Let's go.
I take. I'm having Bitbug accompany us because I want the tech priest to like also like examine things. Yeah. But I tell the rest of the people here to like secure the area and do not follow us. As far as time frames, I like Reaper Joe don't have a good idea of how long these types of missions would take. So I assume Holtz would give a reasonable time frame to wait before like
should have been back by now, right? It's been like an hour. The Bitbug's been sitting there like scanning. You guys have been like just like looking at random stuff, right?
Yeah.
If any of you did any of you like pick up any of the data pads that are like laying around?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, 100% we would.
Yeah, so in that period of time, you're like looking over it, and it's showing, like normal, like ship, like numbers and sensor readings and things about the sun, right? And like sensor readings about the star, and it's like sensor readings for like a normal Imperial space station, not for like this like weird sphere planet thing. Right?
And if we show it to Gizmek or Bitbubble, they see slightly different things.
Yeah, he sees like a big rocks readings,
Yeah.
Hey,
somebody also, just chiseled a rock with some numbers.
I assume that if Sator and goddammit, Sator and Reaper Holtz see the exact same things, or is it like Sator sometimes sees a navigator thing here and there?
Yeah, no, you would like your pad would show like like warp storm sensor readings and stuff, right? Of stuff that you would normally see up in your command deck, right?
Yeah.
With that in mind, I actually have everyone pick up like their own data slate, including Gizmek. Like I tell them to pick up the rock. And then we'll have each of those things with us as we like, and I prepare us to go further into the space station.
Well, orcs like loot data slates and stuff, and they use them in their ships. I'm talking like the readings that he's getting is if he's inside of like an orc ship, which is like
a rock. Yeah, ROKK.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I get us geared up to go into the space station.
Okay, cool. So all of the like the half of the troopers and the tech priests like party are with you folks, and you activate one of the panels, I guess, to go out of this docking bay. Is it the same one that the scouts took earlier,
Uh,
or the
I would probably follow. I would try and probably link up with the scouts. I'm not. We lost a whole lot of men already, and I'm not keen on just throwing them away. So
Yeah.
I'd probably follow them.
So yeah, so you open up one of those doors, and it's the same hallway from before. There's nobody in it.
All we
And
see is just like a hallway. We cannot really see the end of it.
it's a very large. It's like it's one for transporting like these docking bays would have like little vehicles driving supplies around, right? So it has to be big enough to have like a big truck driving through it, basically.
Yeah.
Similarly, it has to be big enough for like an orc, transport crew inside of a rock to move stuff. So it's like a large it's a large tunnel. It's not like a small hallway.
Yeah.
And then there's also like lots of other doors down the hallway. It's not just like infinitely long or whatever, and it like curves to the left, like maybe a couple hundred feet up ahead. Um, and yeah, the door closes behind you. All the doors on the sides are like equidistant from each other, all the way to like the curve in the road. But yeah, that's and then the door closes behind you as you guys walk into this great entrance. And the sounds also like echo around properly for each of you in this space.
And this hallway, it's just a hallway, or are there doors on the side?
Yeah, so there's these large like storage. It looks like they go to like storage bays, basically.
hmm
Large storage bay doors, right? They also have like hand panels.
I open a few of them just to like look inside. I don't go in.
Yeah, so you like walk over to one of the panels and you hit it and you open it up, and there's just like a big empty storage bay with nothing in it.
I can see to the back of it.
And it's huge. Yeah, you can see all the way to the back of it. And like, give me an awareness test.
Okay.
E3.
Yeah.
Actually, all of you should make awareness test difficulty.
Yeah. Sator would be joining Holtz on this too because yeah. We probably want to try to compare what we see all the time here from what we know anyway. God damn.
I got a 3.
So the two
I
you
got
just
two.
see like an empty storage bay and you're like, whatever. Holtz, this storage bay is like physically impossible. Based upon where the docking bay was and the door to the docking bay and this door. Like this storage bay should like stick out of the space station.
Yeah. I turned to Bitbug. I was like, Bitbug, I need you to run some calculations to make sure I'm not seeing anything. Calculate the volume of this storage bay and its location, and then compare it to the docking bay that we were in just earlier.
He like clickers a couple of times and then like his eye like flickers and then like he thinks about it again. He clickers a couple of times. He says, "The numbers do not compute, my lord."
That's what I thought.
Everything
Wait,
about
what?
this place is so perfect, and this doesn't make any sense.
The storage bay, if it were true, if the storage bay were quote unquote true, for lack of a better term, then it would be sticking out of the docking bay that we were just in.
So what you're saying is we got some fuckery going on.
Yes, exactly, Gizmek. Fuckery. That is the only term that I can think of.
Indeed.
Sator, are
Or
you
I can
sure
think
that
of
you
another
weren't?
one. Shenanigans, hullabaloo.
Sator, are you sure that you're not sensing any psychic abilities or psychic phenomena?
Sator would double check with his third eye again to see if there isn't anything psychic in here, and I guess that he'll still get nothing.
So where are you guys standing right now when you're having this conversation?
Outside
in
of
the
the
hallway.
door.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the hallway, not in the door. We're not going in there.
I also make sure Bitbug doesn't go in there. I trust Gizmek to have the common sense not to, charge on through.
Gizmek has at least more common sense than your average orc.
Yeah.
Gizmek does not have that common sense, but you are lucky in the fact that he's preoccupied playing some dumb game on the data slate right now.
Yeah,
He's
it's like a game that's loaded on all orc data slates.
It's Snake. It's Nokia Snake.
It's
all
literally
Snake.
Nokia Snake.
Yeah.
There's like
I like how
attachment
it's
to Snake for orc.
I like how
It's not called Snake though. It's called fucking like Squig, and it's just like an elongated Squig.
I like
that
how we
eats
all
things.
think of Snake.
But everybody else looking at that data slate sees just like normal, like numbers coming off of it, like you're actually doing something important.
Yeah.
We'll get to high school.
Sator is going to pull out a crown, basically just a coin, and throw it in the room.
Yeah, it just like goes in and bounces and ting 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 ting. Gizmek obviously hears like it much more
Crunchy.
crunchy.
Sator wants to go to close the door and then open it back up again.
Yeah, so you like press the panel, the door closes, and then you press the panel again, the door opens, and the coin is gone.
There's some. I go. We're not super far from like the docking bay that we were just in, right?
No, you basically went to the first storage door and opened
Yeah,
it.
I go to the docking bay and I try and open it.
All right, so you open it up, and instead of a docking bay, it's a mess hall on the other side.
I see.
It's empty. There's a bunch of tables and chairs. There's like a number of food on display. It all smells like normal food for your particular culture or whatever.
Who's making meat?
What
Nope.
does Gizmek see? Just meat?
Imagine like the equivalent of like a butcher. Like if you've ever seen Saw and you know the like meat packing plant that they fucking go through, it's basically that except less frozen and a lot more dripping blood.
Oh boy, yeah.
All right. For now, I close it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
That's not
Unless I
crazy.
see like anything particularly interesting there, like food. It's
There
nice
is-
to know that there's a food place that we can potentially go back to.
That is the
yeah.
biggest red flag, though, that they have food there.
Yeah, no, that's if we get desperate.
Yeah.
But I go to like I start exploring like the other like doors.
Yeah. We just start
yeah.
collectively opening all the doors to see if there is anything in there interesting or if just more storage space.
Yeah, so like some are like other large hallways. Some are like like a crew quarters section where like there you see a little hallway with like lots of little doors for like crew quarters and stuff.
If
Like,
I
basically,
can,
like pick a random part of a spaceship, and every door you're open like opens up to a random part of the spaceship. Even if you close the door and reopen it, usually like sometimes it goes to the same place, but sometimes it goes to a different.
Oh my god, it's a video game randomizer. We're
if
just
I
playing
can,
Resident Evil 2 randomizer. Fuck.
We
I mean-
found the back rooms.
we found the back room. If I can, I if my data slate will let me, I try and like record like what the rooms go to, and I'll point for the ones that like open up to different rooms. I'll point out like that they open up to different rooms, and it probably won't help too much.
Well, give me a hunting test to see if you can come up with a pattern.
Now cutting is tied to fellowship. Do you want me to change it to intellect or?
Yeah, we'll do an intellect cunning. Yeah.
Okay.
Would scholarship also work?
No, not really, because scholarship is more like knowing facts about things.
All right.
And
Either
nothing about this screams like scholarship, right?
Yeah.
One. So I got a 6 on the wrath die,
Okay, 6. So you get a glory.
and that's 4 successes.
We get the glory and we also probably get some actual something from this.
Yeah, like there's certain doors that always go to the same place, and there's certain doors that always change. And they seem to go through like a set pattern of which one. So you actually are able to like map out pretty much like a whole Imperial spaceship, like a sword class frigate. Or yeah, let's say a sword class frigate. through all these random doors on this hallway. And you don't go too far. You only go like 8 doors up. There's still like that turn that you don't go to yet.
Yeah.
Something tells me that once we go past that turn, it might change again. Right now, we've only dealt with doors, but if that's a blind turn, it wouldn't surprise me if going back that way leads to another random location.
Yeah, one of the doors cycles through a docking bay that's empty and a docking bay with your lighters in it.
Docking bay with our lighters in it?
Yeah.
But with the people in there too.
The people are with you. The only people that disappeared were the patrol.
Okay. In that case,
The troopers are getting like frazzled, right? Like they're stressing out, and the Mechanicus people are also stressing out. Every time there's like a new thing behind the door, they're like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. Holtz to amuse himself kind of fucks with at least one of them for a little bit, but other than that, like, yeah, no, he's willing to continue on like past the turn, and you know he also he does send like a small crew back to see if they can get like the glider back out, one of the gliders back out to like report back to the ship. But like he.
Yeah. When the guy like so one of you send one of the crew to go fly a lighter, right? So he runs over to the lighter and you can see it because the door is open. And the moment that he goes inside of the lighter, the like docking bay door just like shuts.
Okay. Well, I will.
And it doesn't reopen.
Okay.
After he leaves the lighter, he's like, I can't leave.
He can't leave the lighter. Okay.
No. The lighter, you can get out of it. It's just the docking bay like is closed off now.
Oh, so like the door, we were in the hallway and the door to the docking bay.
Oh,
Like a black
the door.
door.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
the door to the dockway closed, not the door to the room we are in.
Yeah.
Interesting. So the door, so the space station itself won't let us leave. Okay. Well, gentlemen, we only have we can only go press further from here.
And you guys are starting to get a little hungry because it's been a couple hours.
Oi, where was that canteen?
This door, I believe.
Oh, I believe that was right from this corner.
Yeah.
Right, so you basically just like close the door to the docking bay and then open it up again, and then there's the mess hall.
Yeah. And if we're just hungry, I mean, yeah, there's food in here. We're gonna ration ourselves.
Do we want to go to the food place first, or do we want to explore the corner?
If we're getting hungry, I recommend eating here first.
I just imagine Gizmek goes in and you all see him like pick up what looks like an Imperial, like really shitty, untasty ration bar, but he's like smacking his lips and he's just like, "There's some good meat."
One thing that I want to add, there was at one point on that Fairer World -Feudal, we ate some paste from chickens, and Gizmek and Sator really liked it. But it's actually just shit from those creatures, but Sator and Gizmek didn't care. Meanwhile, Holtz was disgusted.
Yeah, the food is like normal Imperial mess hall food, so bad, right? And
Yeah.
Like it's like normal orc food, so delicious, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a giant slab of meat off of something that I've ripped apart and shoved down my throat, but you guys just see me chewing on a bland-ass fucking ration bar, I assume.
Do we all go in the room, or do we, like, send people to go in and bring them in?
I mean, Holtz just goes in the room.
If everyone else is going in the room, Sator's going to follow along because he'd rather not get separated, because, you know, that's worse.
Yeah, the troopers sort of follow along.
Oi, keep that door open!
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Holtz will have them shift out once like one of the troopers is done, so that they can keep the door open.
Like, after like maybe 10 minutes, the door starts to like close on its own. So what do you do if you see the door starting to close and you're in there?
That guard better keep the door open.
Put your foot in front of the door and keep it open like I told you.
Well, it's like a blast door, so like.
Yeah, shove your back against it.
Okay. With that in mind,
Sator is picking up the
It's slowly
biggest
closing. You guys get like one action to do. What do you do?
Gizmek
one
charges
action
the door
before-
and grabs it with his power claw.
Okay, so you like run forward and like stop it with the power claw. Give
Yep.
me a strength like ×2 check or something. Like roll times 2 your.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
So,
1,
yeah,
2,
the
3,
blast
4.
door, like comes to a halt, right? And it's coming down with a lot of weight, but you managed to hold it up with the power claw. You can hear like motor, like Gizmek can hear like Orky motors sort of
Really
like
bad
spinning on the
hydraulics.
wheels inside the wall, right?
I instruct the guardsmen to grab as much food as possible and to get through the door as quickly as possible.
Sator is going to try to help.
They, like, swoop up a bunch of shit and they like run to the door. It's
Sator
making,
is like
sounds, and it sounds really bad, right?
yeah.
And there's like a little like popping noise, and you guys are in a completely different place. You're all in the same place this time. You're on like a platform that's made out of some sort of like pink crystal, and all around you is like weird geometric shapes cut into pink crystal, and it's like kind of dark. There's like maybe like a light source in the distance that's like reflecting off of all this stuff, and the pink crystal is like sort of clear, so you can sort of see. Everything's like covered in this like this pink shade.
Sator is going to check for warp fuckery.
No,
I
nothing.
have an important question for our GM.
All of the food that is in the like guardsman hands are like little gems, and they like drop them on the ground. They like tinkle into.
Okay.
Ah, that was a ration bar. Now it's a fucking crystal.
Sator just whispers under his breath, good thing that my insides are insects anyways.
I mean, to be fair, an orc would probably be able to digest the crystals. But
Yeah.
I have an important question for our lovely GM.
Yeah.
Would pink as a color for an orc come closer to red or purple?
I mean, it's just a light red, right? So
All right, so it's a really light shade of go fast. Got it.
yes, it is.
So I can perceive the room around me. It's not like pitch black.
And I
because
think that's a good stopping point for today. We're at 1:30.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Alright,
And
sounds good.
so you're surrounded by this like weird crystal fortress that you've discovered.
Excellent.
And we're all in the same place now. Like we all see the same things.
Yeah, and like actually, if you like look a distance, like the camera like pans further away, and there's like another platform in another part of this like space with like the 5 scouting party members standing.
I just imagine Gizmek screams "Oi" and it echoes across the.
Yeah, it just
everywhere.
echoes through the whole place.
Damn.
Do
Yeah,
the 5 people see us, or is that too far away for us?
It's like a pan out shot at the end of the episode. Right?
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And
with that,
that was it. Do you guys want to do closing statements and chat and talk and
Hey.
stuff? Or
thank you very much, everyone, for dropping by. We've had a lovely time with some Wrath and Glory here. Hope you have enjoyed as well, and hope you'll join us next Saturday, I assume, because you don't have a Warhammer tournament then, right?
next Saturday I do. The one after I don't.
All right, so in 2 weeks' time we will resume, and then basically this campaign is going to run about, on an average, about 3 out of 4 Saturdays a month, because one Saturday a month we have a Warhammer tournament that our GM is attending. Wish him luck, by the way. And with that, we shall head off into the bright pink sunset. Take care. Have a good one.
Take care.